anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
Yeah.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Happy Tuesday to those in television land. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone is having a wonderful start to the week so far. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, guys, thumbs up the live when you come in. Share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. And the membership is still active, so that is there. If you want to give extra support, you can join our membership. So tonight's topic is JLP Inciting Violence with your host, Mystic Sensation, which is Baron and Anne-Marie, Pastor Ricky Melting Pot, Pink Q, and Mr. Rattigan is going to be joining us shortly. Let me just welcome those in the chat quickly. I'll just do a quick run through. Truck Live, John Gotti, Douglas, Monica Hall, Doris McCoy, Anthony R., Patel Cruikshank, Marilyn Molioson, Don Mel, Abby Yes, Beverly, Paulette MacArthur, Falmouth Girl 2, one of our channel members, bless up yourself, Elaine Turner, One Indian, Jamrock 8766, Cecile Phillips, Bloomy Coleman, Vion Miller, Louis Longshaw, JP, Una Vassal, Rennie Swaby, Jasper, Omar Campbell, Montague James, Hurricane Hattie, Donette Harriet, Beres Whites, Sam Allen, Donette Harriet, Carla Ebanks, Beres White, Yukol Allen, Michael Urquhart, Reggae Girl, Candy Max, our channel members, bless upon herself, Maureen Vassal, Ann Brown, Lindell McCormack, Rue Washington, Christopher Wright, Paul Griffiths, Charmin Pinnock, College Lifestyle, and it is extended. So, Umbrella, welcome to everyone. Thank you so much. Freedom, bless up yourself. So without any delays, I'm just going to ask Pastor Ricky to lead us off in a word of prayer, and then Baron is going to take
full control. Thank you.
Good night, Sir Byron, Lady Anne-Marie. Good night to the family.
Good night. Good night.
Lady Melting Pot family, Lady Pinks and family, everyone in the chat family, good night. Let us pray. Father, we come to you in the matchless name of Jesus, our soon coming King, the God who is, was, and is to come. We're grateful to be in this space one more time that you have blessed us. As we come, mighty God, to share pertinent information, we thank you for this platform that is opening the eyes of many far and wide, diaspora, Jamaica, Africa, everywhere, that those who watch this program will be enlightened and their hearts will be illuminated with revelation and information that they never knew before. Thank you for your daughter, Lady Anne-Marie. We thank you for her diligence, consistent stick-to-itiveness. We thank you for the sacrifice she has made, a mother, a wife. Mighty God, we thank you for the time she spent with her husband, Sir Byron, ensuring that the documents, the videos, the clips, everything is uploaded and in the queue, ready to go. We thank you for the hours of research that they have put in together. We thank you for the verification process. We thank you for the communication process. Bless this channel. Let it roll by leaps and bounds all over the world, that men, women, boys, and girls, when the history book is written, that this channel, Mystic Sensation, played an instrumental, crucial, vital role in exposing corruption, criminality in the Jamaica Labour Party government. Bless Sir Byron, bless his wife, Lady Anne Marie. Breathe a fresh wind on them. Continue to sustain them and keep them, provide for them, their children and grandchildren. We thank you for Sir Melton Pot and his wife. We thank you, oh God, that you have raised them up for such a time as this. Continue to give them grace, courage, and strength. Continue to open doors of opportunities and bless them. Pour out from the windows of heaven. That melting pot, his wife, children, and grandchildren won't have enough room to contain what you have in store for them. Bless Lady Pinks and her children. Bless the hands of her work, her business. Continue to raise up customers, that she will always have food on her table, roof over her head, clothes on her back. Lead her and guide her, we pray. Protect her on the highways and on the byways. Be a fence around her and her children. Bless everyone in the chat. We thank you for their sacrifice, their love, and their affections, their commitment and dedication, the passion, and the moderators that watch the chat to ensure that the chat is free from distractions and negativities. Bless them, we pray, and their children, spouses, and family. And we lift up the Jamaica land we love. Mighty God, the nepotism, the cronyism, the skullduggery is at an all-time high. Never before have we seen this level of criminality in the government. I pray, mighty God, that Comrade Leader Mark Golden is new. Mighty God, the Minister of Security, Justice Minister, that they will put a stop order on the ports of entry, that these criminals in the Jamaica Labour Party have no way to flee the island, that they will revoke their travel documents immediately after they win the election so that they can't flee to another country. I pray that they will all be arrested. They have robbed 3 trillion. They've stole 54 million in fertilizer, 451 million to empty building and money laundering. When we read the IC report, it is an indictment on the criminality and financial crimes on the prime minister, who now put his friend in there, who thinks his friend can save him, but we have news for him. And so, Father God, give Comrade Leader Mark Golden the courage, the strength, the vigor to do what he said he's going to do, because we believe in his integrity and honesty, that when the right time comes, they will be charged for corruption. Bless, we pray. Give Mark Golden the victory on election day, so that will be the start of freeing Jamaica from corruption. We have already hit 40 points in the World Perception Corruption Index perception. And my God, with now this guy, Dennis Chung, at the head of FID, it might even drop to 30 points. Have mercy, we pray. There needs to be a turning around. There needs to be a change in Jamaica, so that foreigners and the diaspora and investors will find favor again in Jamaica. We give you the praise, the glory, the honor, and the thanks. And everyone say amen. Praise God.
Amen.
Amen. I want to
Amen.
say thank you, Pastor Ricky, for such a wonderful prayer.
Praise God.
Now, I want to also, bless up, the panel of critical thinkers, King's Q, Melting Pot, Pastor Ricky, right, to be in the field with us, fighting for justice and fighting for good governance. Tonight, we're going to take it a little bit different, because we have so many topics to cover. And as we're facing a general election, right, 3 months away, we want to make sure that we are giving as much information to our electorates so that they can make an informed decision. We are not here, as many people believe, or some people believe, that we are here to carry down the government. No. We are here to serve ourselves, to ensure checks and balance as it relates to good governance. And we are going to hold the government accountable. The Prime Minister himself said that we need to hold the government accountable. And that is what we are doing, Mr. Prime Minister. Let me say to Jamaica, in terms of what we are going to discuss tonight. And one of the items that we will be discussing tonight is procurement probity, which this has more serious, based on what we are looking on, has more serious implication than the Midas drill. Let me warn Jamaican people in terms of what we are going to reveal tonight, right? And so then, as a result of what happened with the Midas drill, we start to investigate just to find out if that particular behavior stretch itself throughout multiple ministries. And based on what I found, Jamaica, we are seeking some serious information on this, because just looking on the surface, it is much worse than the drill. Let me say that, Jamaica. It is much worse than the drill. But we are going to leave that under our second folder. For tonight, what we have, right, we have a series of folder that we are going to unleash tonight. Right, the code of conduct, election panic, procurement probity, and internal pricing. We are going to discuss the FinSAC debacle, and Andrew speak on the promising season. And we have a lot of clips under those. So again, I'm just saying this to say to the panel that to each subject that you're touching, that you will be touching tonight, be specific with the subject matter, because we want to make sure that all of the data that we have tonight, we are disseminating the data so that people can be well fed. Now tonight, we are not speaking to the diarrhea. We are speaking to Jamaicans. We are speaking particularly to the electorate, because of course, we are in a center that we have to decide Jamaica fate. Our democracy is at risk. Now, before I go into the program, right, of course, we always do our meet and greet. We're glad our melting pot is here now. That is the man with the sledgehammer. Him no use ordinary hammer around here now. That's why tonight in the space. So people, prepare for the sledge. So how we do things around here. We respect our ladies, because the ladies are the foundation of building our society. So we respect our ladies. So as usual, let us hear from Spinks to meet and greet her people. Go ahead, Spinks.
Good night, Jamaica. Good night, fellow panelists. And good night to especially the people of St. James who are watching this program tonight. I'm out here to represent from our parish. Good night to you all.
Thank you. And I forgot to pick up the people in the chat. Pick up the people who support Mystic Sensation. We thank you to energize us. And that's when I left that out. So let me just make sure that we pick up the people who are supporting us. Thank you for the energy. All right. Pastor Ricky, meet and greet.
Yes. Good night again, Sir Byron, Lady Anne Marie, Lady Pinks, my brother across the water, melting pot. Big up yourself. Good night, everyone in the chat. We love you, appreciate you, thank God for you. Tonight is another night of judgment for the Jamaica Labour Party and the criminal prime minister who's disqualified for being prime minister. One who's inciting violence on his own people that he took an oath twice to serve. And it's a crying shame that the prime minister, the head of the country, stooped to that low. I mean, lack of leadership. He's deranged. He's impulsive. He's irrational, and he's complicit. And so the time has come for West Central St. Andrew, the people there, to realize we have your MP candidate and the prime minister who's a threat to the democracy of Jamaica and an enemy of the state of Jamaica. And he's not qualified to be MP, and he's disqualified from being the prime minister. The last point, every leader of a country, number one priority is to secure the security of the people that they took an oath to serve. He has violated that a million times by giving directive to analyze the young youths. He is violating that the other day when he incite in the rage and the level of anger that and the passion that he said it with. He cannot take it back. It already came out of his mouth. We have it on video. I just don't post it. But he's disqualified from being prime. Vote him out, West Central, St. Andrew. He's not qualified to be on.
All right. Now, Melting Pot, take it away and let us just make Rattigan rest for a while because I'm just coming in. But you want breeze up, come on. Sure. Melting Pot. Take it away, Melting Pot.
Greetings and blessings to everyone tuning in tonight. First, I want to apologize for my absence last week. I had some issue with my device and I had to get it sorted out because, previously it's been giving me problem on the show and I know my fans like to see me to the end, so that's the reason why I was unavailable last week. So I just want to big you up all, for having the time to share with us on the platform tonight. Yeah, I want to take the pleasure into acknowledging the host, Sir Byron, yes, beautiful wife, Lady Anne Marie, who is our technical director, who always, put the program together, the clipping that we share. I like to also say how lovely it is to see Pink Skew in the hot seat tonight again. I want to also big up our dear beloved Pastor Ricky, and I must also welcome our former FBI, none other than Sir Wilfred Rattigan, the man who have all the information stacked away because him doing research late at night, as Pastor Ricky said. You can't sleep when night come. That's the best time for him to dig out the information. So, Mr. Ratty, big up yourself, my brother. And to everyone far and wide, the time is here now for us to really ramp up the pressure upon this garbage prime minister we have in Jamaica, the criminal prime minister who always finds some criminal cronies to draw aside at him, to find a way to let him off him criminal charges. People like Dennis Chung, we have to deal with it tonight because you put yourself in the spotlight and we have to beat and teach you tonight. So people, before any ado, I hand over back the floor to the member of the panel.
Yes, wonderful, Melting Pot. The platform love you, Melting Pot. Understand?
Yeah,
so
man,
when you come into the race, then it get a little bit heated. All right. Brother Rattigan, I want to tell you, this is the ATI General. And of course, we love Brother Rattigan in the midst. So I want to say, right now, since Brother Rattigan is here, right, remember, we're talking about some procurement probity that we are going to reveal to our Jamaican people, that what we are looking on appears to be worse than the drill. So without any further ado, let me just have Rattigan, right, speak to his people. Brother Rattigan, go ahead.
Yes, Lord Byron. Blessings, everybody. Lady Anne Marie, big up yourself. Lord Byron, Pink Skew, big up yourself. Enjoy your comments on the platform there. Really love them. Melting pot. Yeah, man, the man who hot. And of course, Ricky. You know, go with Pastor Ricky. Him no pull no punches and call the Prime Minister. As him see him. And of course, everybody out there in viewing land, loving it to death. Hey, everybody, today I had a chat with the man who's at the center of the drill gate, as we call it. And you know, we've done 2 parts already. We're going to do a 3rd part. Believe it or not, we're going to do a sneak tomorrow. He's coming on and he has a lot to say. In fact, one of the things we have unearthed, uncovered this over the last couple of days is a legitimate invoice from Medtronic. Yeah, we can compare it to the bogus ones or the alleged bogus ones that we've seen. And then, folks, you make up your mind when you see one that says original, that came from the company, and you see the others. And then, please, people, don't forget we have the reconnection rally this month, June 21st, Saturday, June 21st, at the Ronnie Williams Entertainment Center. Make it a date, don't be late. We need people to start those who haven't yet, start making your donations. The ones who have, we sincerely thank you. And last but not least, the petition, the Magnitsky petition. We need you to go review and sign the petition. You don't have to pay to sign the petition. And I'll make the announcement with Lord Byron and Lady Anne Marie's permission before we end the program tonight, because it's important that we support the endeavor in Jamaica and we support the Magnitsky project that we're doing here. If you're interested in holding government accountable, these are 2 ways to do that. Glad to be here.
All right, definitely so.
And the link to the Magnitsky petition is pinned, so you guys who have not yet signed can click on it to get to the page and sign the petition.
All right, Jamaica, let us begin our program. Yes, we have seen the Prime Minister, right, inciting violence, and that is so despicable, to say the least, right? Very shameful, right? But the Prime Minister, you know, is shameless. And so then, of course, we are going to remind the Prime Minister as it relates to the importance of the code of conduct that he did not sign, which is telling the entire Jamaica that, of course, there was a premeditated plan, right, that engineered by the Prime Minister and his administration. And so then that is the reason why they did not sign the code of conduct. So we are going to highlight the code of conduct, right? And one of the reasons why we are going to highlight it, because Comrade Leader Mark Golden ensured on principle that he signed the code of conduct and encouraged all his members to sign the code of conduct. The People's National Party, I am proud to say that they have all, as it relates to the parliamentarians, all signed the code of conduct. The Jamaica Labour Party, not one today signed the code of conduct, simply telling Jamaican people that they had a plan engineered, and that is the reason why they totally avoided the code of conduct. Tonight, people, I'm telling you, it is bangarang tonight, trust me. Now, so let us show the Prime Minister, right, as it relates to how he denied the Jamaican people true service by not signing the code of conduct. So let us lift up that document, wifey, right, to bring Andrew Holness to the principles, right, of the code of conduct. And I hope Andrew Holness looking on this, and I hope the JLP administration looking on this tonight to show the first denial of justice and service that they have denied the Jamaican people. Right? Now, let us go through. Now, the 7 principles of public life, also known as the Nolan principles, apply to anyone, Andrew Owners, who works as a public office holder. This includes all those who are elected or appointed to public office. We want to speak to you about this, Andrew. Nationally and locally, and all people appointed to work in the civil service, local government, the police, courts, and probation services, non-departmental public bodies, and in the health, education, social, and care services. All public office holders are both servants. Let me remind you this, Andrew Holness, both servants of the public and stewards of public resources. Stewards of public resources simply means that public resources must be utilized properly in the interests of the people. The principles also apply to all those in other sectors delivering public services. So let us speak to the Nolan principles. Number 1, selflessness and wholeness. Holders of public office should act solely in terms of the public interest. Andrew Holness, what you have done here in terms of helping yourself with the taxpayers' treasury is wrong. Is wrong. Is a fundamental wrong. Where you have awarded contracts to govern, and where now we are looking on several procurement procedures, and where your administration mighty overbill, overcharge taxpayers, which triggers inflation. You have no love and care. Helplessness, right, should not be a part of your attribute, sir. We speak of integrity. Holders of public office must avoid placing themselves under any obligation to people or organizations that might try inappropriately to influence them in their work. They should not act or take decisions in order to gain financial or other material benefits from themselves, their family, or their friends. They must declare and resolve any interest and relationship. My. We have seen you, Prime Minister, have an association with Dennis Strong, knowing that you're under investigation and knowing that Dennis Strong lacked the requirements as it relates to the processing of interview and interrogation, the process of law enforcement experiences, 12 years, on which 5 of those years, Dennis Strong should be at the supervisory hand. Dennis Strong, all of that. But yet, Prime Minister, you overlook this because indeed you did not sign the 7 principles of public life. So simply telling us that you are not here to serve the public, we are calling you out tonight. You have not signed the 7 principles of public life. Simply telling us you are not here, sir, to serve the public. You are here to serve yourself, your elites, the PSOJ, and the umbrella group of churches who are silent. Objectivity. Holders of public office must act and take decisions impartially, fairly, and on merit, using the best evidence and without discrimination or bias. Accountability. Holders of public office are accountable to the public for their decisions and actions and must submit themselves to the scrutiny necessary to ensure this. Sir, we have senior administration giving Brother Rattigan problem with the ATIs. The difficulty in terms of present certain requests being asked of you. You have senior administration locked down on certain information. And so then when an investigator like Zara Burton requests certain information, the rigmarole, the going around, the hide, the people of Jamaica did not vote for you to do all of that, to suppress information. The people of Jamaica want transparency, accountability. That's what the people of Jamaica need from your administration, sir. But you choose not. You had proceeded down the route of corruption. Openness. Holders of public office should act and take decisions in an open and transparent manner. Information should not be withheld from the public unless there are clear and lawful reasons for so doing. When I look to see how easy it is, the Integrity Commission is asking you to explain your illicit enrichment, and you have failed to do so. As a result of you unable to do so, you carry on all the bangarang to burn down the Integrity Commission investigators. But Andrew Honest, we found you guilty. Honest, I shouldn't even bother read that because the whole world knows that you're not honest. Holders of public office should be truthful. No, my God. Now, truthfulness and honest don't come out of your mouth. Truthfulness and your mouth lips, malice. Yes, truthfulness and your mouth lips, right? Don't see eye to eye. So let us move on from honesty. Leadership. Holders of public office should exhibit these principles in their own behavior and treat others with respect. Treat others with respect and honest. As opposed to you on your public platform telling all laborers to impede on a march that is peaceful, to impede on persons who want to seek checks and balance. You are inciting violence from your base, telling them to oppose. Mighty God, this is extremely despicable. Now we understand, sir, why you did not sign the code of conduct, because none of these attributes you bear within your administration. Your administration is a full-fledged kleptocratic organization. Take it away. Take it away. Now, as we juggle, let us go to our second clip, because as I said, tonight is living fire. Now, let us hear what Dr. Peter Phillips, based on the behavior Peter Phillips has to come out and speak to Jamaica, for Jamaica to join in saving our democracy from Andrew Honest. This is a goddamn shame and disgrace. Without any delay, let us hear from Peter Phillips.
Of the People's National Party, and you're a Norman Manley PNP, I say come on board now. If you are and Michael Manley PNP. Come on board now. Time come. If you're a PJ Patterson PNP, come on board now. Time come. If you're a Portia Simpson Miller PNP, come on board. Time come now. And for all the people that said them a Peter Phillips PNP, come on board now.
Turn up the thing. Turn up the thing. Turn up the thing.
This party is too important to us. It's too important to our history. It's too important to our children and our grandchildren for us to make any little personal issue, our side show, our side this, our side that. Stop the mission of the People's National Party. Time come now.
All right. Now, as you hear Peter Phillips galvanizing, right, Michael Manley PNP, galvanizing Portia Simpson PNP, galvanizing Peter Phillips PNP, galvanizing Mark Golden PNP, but the one essence that carried the message, PNP, the People's National Party. Now, let us get into what we are going to address. Now, let us go to one more clip. And we're going to do another clip and then we're bringing the panel because, as I said, fire tonight. Now, let us active strong on it. Yes, we are traveling smooth and nice. Right? Just presenting these clips before we bring in the panel. Right, active strong. Now let us listen here.
I hear that they are going to have protests for manufactured rage and crises that don't exist. Well, I want every Labourite to protest against this hypocrisy tomorrow. I want every Labourite, wherever you are, to protest in your workplace, to protest in the market, to protest wherever you are of the bad mindism of the PNP that is trying to bring down the progress of the people. Stand up, Labourites. Stand up for justice. Stand up for truth. Stand up against the PNP. There was a time when the playbook of the PNP used to make Labourites afraid. Is a different Labourite you're looking on today. Labourites are proud of their party.
Take it away. Now, people, I am good at reading facial expression. And if you look at many people, facial expression within that crowd, they did not endorse him. And not only that, they did not endorse him. They did not follow through what the Prime Minister instructed them to do. I want to applaud them tonight. Because guess what? The Labourites, they are Jamaican. The PNP, they are Jamaicans. And when they decided that we are first going to be Jamaica, then be a party, to represent the party, we are first Jamaica. They know very well, Andrew Honest, that you are you are a political canarist. They know you. And so they did not follow through. And so this is supposed to show you something, Jonas, that the people of Jamaica, they are going to vote you out. Let me say this, and I know it is going to happen. We are going to see the voters' apathy reduce so much. We are going to have 70 to 75% of people turn out to vote because the People's National Party, that's what Peter Phillips said, the Portia Simpson PNP, the Peter Phillips PNP, the Michael Manley PNP, the PJ Patterson PNP, the Bruce Golden PNP, they will be coming out, Jones. So prepare. They will be coming out and they are going to be voting you out. Now let us begin in terms of our, yes.
Right.
No, not Bruce Golden PNP. Did I say Bruce Golden PNP? Mark Golden PNP. What? Come on.
Slip of the tongue.
Slip of the tongue. Slip of the tongue. So let us go into
prophesying, you know, he might cross over after how his prime minister did mash up the country.
Of course.
You never
know. Let us talk about
can't come cross faster.
Yes. Let us talk about that issue for this week. And I am going to bring in the panel. And not only that, I'm going to bring in the panel, right? Rattigan, who is an experienced lawyer, I want to ask Rattigan some questions before, right, the panel comes in. So we are going to get to the topical issue for this week as it relates to Dennis Strong, right, being employed as the pit chief. Now, let us get into what Dennis Strong response has to say as it relates to, you know, the people of Jamaica, majority of the people of Jamaica, right? They are disgusted with the appointment, right? Because obviously that appointment, right, is flawed. So let us get into that and hear what Dennis Strong has to say. Let us get, and you notice who I take it from my people nationwide, you know, right? So listen.
Dennis Strong has said there's nothing unusual about the Prime Minister being connected to 28 bank accounts. He noted in September 2024 that the requirements for clients to open several accounts in order to make particular investments is not limited to Jamaica, but is a frequent practice across the world. He made the comments in his capacity as a public commentator. Now, that comment is being used by the PNP as reason for him not to be the new man at the helm of the FID. The FID was asked by the Integrity Commission to review critical aspects of its long-running probe into the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. Speaking on Nationwide this morning, Chung sought to deflect the comments from the PNP.
I mean, I've seen it, but Tana, I don't want to comment on that. Those are discussions I have to have with the minister who I report to. But I wouldn't want to comment on that, to be honest with you.
Chung brings over 35 years of extensive experience in accounting and financial management, having served in both the public and private sectors. He holds a Bachelor of Science and a Master of Science in Accounting, both from the University of the West Indies. A Justice of the Peace, Dennis Chung's appointment to the FID was rubber-stamped by the Office of the Services Commissions. Chung has previously served in a senior capacity under a PNP government. In 2015, he was appointed under the Simpson-Miller administration to chair the board of the National Solid Waste Management Authority following the resignation of prominent PNP activist Steve Ashley. Mark Golding's PNP says while it doesn't question Chung's ability to be impartial, a perception of impartiality is going to arise. Chung says similar comments were made when he served at previous state agencies. He says the standard of his work is his only response to the criticism.
As I said, I don't want to comment on that. You know, similarly like when I was going to JFF, you know, I don't comment on those things. You know, the fact is that you know I have to be cognizant of what is happening, and you know I let the work speak. I mean, similar comments were made when I was going to NSW too. You know, so I just let the work speak, but I can't comment on that. I'd have to have that discussion first with the minister.
The PNP is questioning Chung's lack of experience in the areas of law enforcement and forensic.
Now let us begin some serious interrogation here. Dennis Chung said he's going to make his work speak for itself. That is what we are going to take away from that conversation. But my brother Rattigan, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. But before I ask you those 3 questions, and I want the panel to answer as it relates to the 3 questions that I'm going to ask as well. Isn't that Dennis Strong had spoken before his work take place? Because he had already given his opinion as it relates to Andrew Holness, right? Moving money to 3 companies and in various accounts in NCB, where Dennis Strong had given his opinion on that already. Now we hear Dennis Strong is saying he's going to let his work speak for itself, while he had already spoken. So you see the contrary there. Now, Brother Rattigan, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Number 1, Brother Rattigan, based on the association of Dennis Strong and Andrew Holness, should that qualify Dennis to recuse himself from any investigation into the Prime Minister financial affairs? That is one of the questions. Question number 2. Dennis Strong public statement in saying he doesn't understand the IC probity, where millions of dollars passing through the Prime Minister's shell companies and nil returns. Is this a clear indication that Dennis Strong lacks the knowledge and experience to both investigate and interrogate accordingly? Number 3, Brother Ratty, should Dennis Strong place in such a critical area that responsible to protect the integrity of the country, checks and balance system lacking the interviewing and interrogation techniques, credentials? Go ahead, Brother.
Very simple answer to all 3 questions. And that is, the man is unqualified and he's expressed his bias. He has prejudged the case when he came out and said that, I don't see anything wrong with the 28 bank accounts and I don't see anything wrong with the nil taxes and so on and so forth. He's prejudged the case. In addition to which, he doesn't have the necessary or the requisite qualifications to run that agency. It's fairly simple. He's going over there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to protect the Prime Minister. And whoever else needs protection over there. That's all he's going over there, because don't tell me that the Prime Minister could not have found someone else with the necessary qualification. And I'm hearing that there's another person, JCF. I'm hearing, that he applied.
Yes, there is.
Can you shed some light on that, please?
Pinks, can you speak on that as it relates to the other person?
What I heard is that somebody who was there working at FID, he has less than 1 year experience working there. He's more qualified than Dennis right now. I don't remember the young man's name.
Okay.
Right. So it's very simple for me. He has made some utterances betraying his bias. That's one. And 2, he doesn't have the requisite skills necessary to discharge the responsibilities over there. And as you may recall, the first time the application came out, it asked for 12 years of law enforcement experience, 5 at senior level. That was November of last year. And then when it came out this year, it said, you don't, it was completely absent. I know, how can you, FID is a law enforcement agency. How can you have a law enforcement agency and you have qualified people out there? It's not as if you don't have anybody qualified. And you say, well, just take the next best thing. But you know what? I am not surprised this is the pattern and practice of this administration. We see it
Yes.
time and time and time again. And I expect to see maybe one more example of this before the election, because this man is just I think he's intoxicated with the power that he's been handling over the last 9 going on 10 years. And you know how it is. Power doesn't yield. Power is going to do everything necessary to stay in power, or the powerful will do anything necessary to stay in power. And this is exactly what we're seeing here. So we shouldn't we shouldn't be surprised, but to some degree we are surprised, because we're saying, I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I can't believe him really do this in a broad daylight just before the election, and him know say people are look at him now, because should he lose the election, all kind of things can happen to him. And him just put this man over there. And not only that, look how long we've had an acting. I think it's from last year, March, Selwyn here left.
Yes.
Right. Right.
From last year, March, I think it's over a year we've had an acting. Why? No. And why, Dennis? Very simple. No,
Exactly.
an election coming up, and Dennis, because Dennis will see to it that the prime minister is protected in some way, shape, or form. We can't trust his judgment.
But Rothigan, let me sorry to just cut it here, but you just mentioned something that tickled my brain cell. Right? The person who was acting, as it relates to his credential in comparison to Dennis Strong, what happened as it relates to his credential? Is he more qualified than Dennis Strong, and where the system could just easily ease him into the position?
Of course, because he's been doing the job. No, you're going to put somebody in and it's going to learn on the job. You don't need anybody to come in and learn on the job with FID. You need somebody to come in and start running, and he's incapable of doing that based on it. 2 things: his statements and his qualifications. So for me, this is a very easy case. He should never. In fact, I've called on him. I called on him this past Saturday. I'm calling on him again, because you know they're watching your program. Mr. Chung, do the right thing. As I said last week Saturday, commit to country, not to corruption. Commit to country, not to corruption. Just tell the prime minister, say, listen, no, this is not the right thing. This is not the right position for me. In good conscience, I cannot do it. I hope that he'll do it. But you know what? I don't think he's gonna do it, because they show his Nolan principles, and they don't subscribe to it. They do not subscribe to it. So I don't. If they didn't, I don't think they're gonna do so right now.
They're not. Thank you for the wonderful input, Brother Ratigan. Of course, we are not going to leave the lady far behind. Springs, speak to us as it relates to what we just mentioned there. Dennis Strong, Andrew Holness, right? Should that qualify Dennis to recuse himself as a result of the association with Dennis Strong, right? And the public statement that he made, right? And again, should Dennis Strong place in such a critical area, right, that responsible to protect the integrity of the country, checks and balance system, lacking the interviewing and interrogation techniques credentials? Speak to how you feel about it, Speaks.
Well, first of all, I would like us to know that we have to admit that Andrew is a narcissist.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
They have no conscience. There's some things psychologically unbalanced about Andrew, and it's time we just face that, because he's behaving in that video clip we just saw, well, just the same way like Hitler.
True.
It's just that Hitler had loyal people to him who would carry out his works. And of the fact that no Labourite turned out at the meeting at Hero Circle showed us that even the Labourites do not trust Andrew and will not follow his accord. They're just there now because they want something on their plate for today and tomorrow. And the other point I would like to make is this: we have 92 days left. 92 days left for.
I want to make a correction on that.
You understand me? 92 days left. Go back and count. From Saturday, it was 95. I'm counting every day down. 92 days left for us.
So you're saying 92 days left for deliverance.
For deliverance.
All right.
92 days left. Constitutionally due, 92 days left. And the other point I would like to make is this. When we select our Olympians to go to on the Olympic stage, do we choose the persons who come last in the race or do not qualify for the race to go and represent us from Jamaica? No, we choose the persons who are qualified. So why are we choosing somebody who is not qualified to be in that position for the FID position? And as Vatican said, we could just simply slip in the person who was acting in that position. You understand me? It is so simple for the acting to become the official person for that position. Why are you going to have a person acting for almost over a year? Andrew Holness is a narcissist. And until we understand the level of his madness, because I can't call it in any other word, this man has passed madness. Because how can you come on a stage, every word that he uttered, every sentence he uttered in that video clip is a lie.
Lie.
He's calling us hypocrites. He's calling us all these names when all the language that he spoke applied to himself and the 49 people. Everything he has said on that stage belongs to their party. And he's trying to tell a Jamaican to go and incite riot against his own Jamaican brother. You saw the same thing from Desmond Mackenzie and from other people. And the look on those faces of those people in the crowd when they received his message is similar to when Juliet Cuthbert uttered her racial remarks last year November on the same Jamaica Labour Party conference stage. And the white people were sitting right there on stage behind her while she stood at the podium and voiced her racial remarks against Mark Golding. People of the same skin color as Mark Golding, right? And the people held their heads down and felt so ashamed. And they were on the stage with her. And the people in the audience a while ago had the same reaction to Andrew Holness' pronouncement and instruction for labor rights to go out and protest against what? You and your corruption? When they themselves are feeling it, remember, I said over a month, we are living in Montego Bay. Over a month, we are deprived of water, both labor rights and PNP. Living in the same community, don't have pipe water. Over a month straight without pipe water, and you don't expect the same people to say, him not bid, me not bid. It affects both of us.
Exactly. Whether you have PNP or JLP.
Or JLP.
Exactly.
The same prices, we are both PNP and JLP paying the same prices for a pound of sugar at the supermarket. We are saying we are paying the same prices, we are being paid the same for our services and our labor and our goods. Both JLP and PNP are feeling it. When we get sick and go to Cornwall Regional Hospital, the same JLP and the PNP cannot find a bed.
Exactly.
So how can you tell a JLP to go and fight against a PNP when the both of them are feeling the same thing?
There you go. There you go.
It makes no sense because, Andrew, what we find when we canvass out there every day is that the labor rights said they're not coming out to vote. And as you said, Uncle Byron, this election, just like our last year local government election, had the highest voter turnout ever. This election coming is going to be a great turnout because cartel concert is nothing compared, and will be nothing. It's nothing compared to what's going to happen election time this year. People are going to take planes, private jets, everything. People just waiting on the date to be announced to book their tickets.
Thanks. I'm glad you're punching that away. Which, I suspect the same thing, Sister Pinks. That trust me, people are going to turn out in drones. And this general election, trust me, people, when we are talking, don't joke about it. I am telling you that voters are party, right, will be flatline because the manlyites and PNP will be rolling out. The PJ parties and PNP will be rolling out. The Portia Simpson PNP will be rolling out. The Peter Phillips PNP will be rolling out. The Mark Golden PNP, this time I'm not mistaken. Mark Golden PNP will be rolling out. And I tell you something. As a matter of fact, melting pot with the sledge, he might go pull out you know. So,
Sir Byron, check your phone. I sent you a text 15 minutes ago. A very important text. All right. Sorry about that.
okay. All right. So, now, you don't know the thing set because we know that melting pot is going to create some havoc. When melting pot go upon the scene, create all the havoc, we know that Pastor Ricky is going to come, you understand, clean it up and smooth it up. Melting pot, go on with the damage. Go on with the damage, melting pot.
Yeah, we really have to create havoc, you know, because the Prime Minister create me. You understand? Because, I mean, there's no way this Prime Minister have any sense. I didn't think him stupid, but I realize him is an idiot right now. To appoint Dennis Strong as the chief man in charge of FID, Financial Investigative Department, is a nonsensical appointment that in the first place. That now carry no water around here now no weight. You understand? Because this guy already compromised himself for the job by publicly supporting Andrew Wallis' 28th bank account. And in a sense, literally criticizing the Integrity Commission as it relates to, you know, the probation of Andrew Wallis, you know, and him illicit enrichment. So we can't have this guy in the hot seat in the Financial Investigative Department because everything when becomes corrupt under FEMA umbrella. So when the People's National Party hierarchy call on Jamaicans to come out in solidarity and stand against this appointment, it was, you know, well spoken and well received because Sir Mark G did not say PMP. He said Jamaicans must come out and stand up against the injustice. But we are hearing this guy, Mr. 28 bank account, calling on all labor rights, wherever you are, whether you're in the workplace or work for the man, we are pay you for stop and protest. I want to know which employer got have him work as them. Stop and protest for a criminal. In support of a criminal. The people them in the market where sell them, I look them sale because them hungry already. And them now benefit from Andrew Wallis' 28th bank account and them billions. So these people have to continue with their, you know, sales. Them now go stop and protest. Not even the one them with their Tibali Garden, which we know is Coronation Market. Them people are still a continue them business because nobody know in Andrew Wallis and film shenanigans. Where Andrew go on with for the past 9.5 years. It begs us to believe if this was the man when him in opposition and speaks so eloquent about corruption and all these things and, you know, all the narrative where him use. Him tell the people him say him can reduce crime to the extent where door and window can leave up at night. Him promise them all. There's nothing where him left where him not promise them. Up to even electricity the man say him going to reduce. That can't come them way. Him promise them all prosperity, you know. And when he make the promise for the prosperity, him even retract back on the word prosperity as a promise and say, no, it will be a commitment, but nothing. The only commitment Andrew Wallis having at Jamaica is to rob the taxpayers' money. And that's what he has been doing. No school, no bill, nothing at all, nothing. Just pay robbing and high increase in them wages. and brutalize the citizens of Jamaica with ZOZO, state of emergency, disaster risk management act and all these things. Yeah, and come back again where compound matters worse. This guy charged Jamaican citizens a whole heap of money for not wearing a mask where him never provide for the unfortunate people who cannot buy a mask. He also went ahead and called, I would call it a snap election. So we are looking at a guy who is trying to implement all measures to save himself from going to prison. But that will never happen.
Okay.
That will never happen. That have to be one of the first accomplishments of the Mark Jefferson Golden administration. I didn't say first, I said one off, because I know Mark G have better things to do to get the country start moving again. But Mark G now go wait a long time for all this criminal in front of the justice system. So all the protectors for Andrew Holness who has been protecting him for the past 4 years, because I mean, from a guy, statutory declaration can certify 4 years, You know, sir, from them time them for their prison. Because that is a sign of corruption. That is a sign showing say you're a criminal in disguise, white collar criminal. But we know about white collar criminal. They will come and speak very eloquent. And they will let you want to believe that they are the best thing since sliced bread. But when you look on them bread that pay mildew, it moldy. Can't eat, can't digest. And in Andrew Holness, nobody can digest Andrew Holness criminality. So we are calling on this guy Dennis Strong to do the right thing and recruit himself from this position at FID. Because certainly Jamaican far and wide is not comfortable with you being there. It's allegedly that the said individual was the Prime Minister accountant. So that show you a high level of affiliation between them over the years. And I am of the opinion that he might as well be also the accountant for many more Jamaica Labour Party operatives as it relates to the member of parliaments. So we can't have this guy coming into the space to compromise the case and corrupt it. Because we are looking to clean up the mess that Jamaica finds itself in because of Andrew Holness. And so, Dennis Strong, I want you to tell Jamaica no later than tomorrow that you are not going ahead with the appointment. You must stand as a patriotic Jamaican and not as a partisan Jamaican. Jamaica is in a crisis. The state of affairs in Jamaica today is unbelievable. It's neck and neck with Haiti right now. And we cannot have a country with a proud history like Jamaica rubbing shoulder with Haiti. Jamaica is too far advanced in terms of global recognition. Our athletes, our musicians, our beauties that take part in Miss World, Miss Universe, they have represented the country to an excellent standard. And so to have one criminal-minded prime minister who orchestrates a regime that is as criminal as he is to take away the glass and the sheen of Jamaica image, we are not having it. And I yield back the floor to another member of the panel.
Well, thank you for that melting pot. Right, powerful input there. Now we are going to make Pastor Ricky slide in. But Jamaican people, let me tell you something. I wanted to share this live, you know. Because after Pastor Ricky finish, we are going to get into the procurement poverty that appears to be worse than the drilling. Let me tell you something, Jamaica. What we are going to establish tonight, let me speak before Pastor Ricky come down. This, on the surface of it, look very much worse than the drill. And we are putting it out there because we want the IC to investigate this. We want the People's National Party to query this. We want Lambert Brown to query this. And we are asking an all well-thinking Jamaica to look in what we are going to present. Because it not look good, people. It not look good. So I am going to have Pastor Ricky juggle down and then bang around. The people post it out, you know, bang around. All right, Pastor Ricky, come into the space.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Byron. Thank you, everyone. Now, we shouldn't be surprised that the Prime Minister did not sign the IC Integrity Commission Code of Conduct training that speaks of the 7 Nolan principles as you went over. The reason why we should not have been surprised, well, maybe we were surprised, but until we found out the profile of the current criminal Prime Minister, now we should not be surprised. The Prime Minister was a criminal before he ran for Prime Minister. And if we go back to 2007, giving contracts to his friend Robert Garvin, which he almost, if it wasn't for the DCP Director of Corruption Prosecutor Keisha, he would have been prosecuted for that. So, and then when we look at establishing an offshore company, ADMAT in St. Lucia in 2008, the following year, and to avoid paying taxes in Jamaica and to hide his criminality. Then when we look at him getting paid out from SSL in 2011 and buying the Beverly Hills where he lived property, the land, and also in 2009 establishing or having 4 different property, included a failed taxi company. And so the criminality has been building up over the years. And so they lost the election to Mama P in 2012. And even though he was still masking his wealth, he wanted to get back at the head so he can be in control of his criminality. And so he ran for Prime Minister in 2015 so he can continue criminalities. Now, the Prime Minister is unhinged. He's deranged. He lacks temperament of a leader, and he's impulsive. He's irrational. When he burst out in such rage and anger Sunday night past, summoning his supporters, he said Laborites. He called them out by name, so you know he was speaking to a specific group of individuals. He summons them to go out to protest against an anti-corruption movement. What this revealed to us is that the Prime Minister is in a cover-up phase. If you look at Section 53 of the Integrity Commission Act, it speaks to the fact of a gag order, and he used what the gag orders is for the commissioner not to speak on a current investigation until it's tabled in the parliament. But he used that section for the commissioner to place a gag order on his members of parliament because he didn't want them to speak on the case. What does he had to hide? The second way we know he's in a cover-up is that he took the Integrity Commission to court to strike out Section 14, subsection 5 of the corrupt, the Integrity Commission Act, and the judge threw it out and rejected. Thank God. Now we see him place a friend, a corrupt individual, to lead FID, who's unqualified, does not meet the requirements. Why? To continue the cover-up. Let the criminal prime minister know that the cover-up of a crime is worse or could be worse as the crime itself. A lot of people go to prison because of cover-up. One last point. Maya Angelou say, when someone show you who they are, believe them for who they are. The prime minister has a lot to hide. What Dennis Chung does not understand and is going to implicate himself. I can think of at least 3 charges right now that if Dennis Chung tamper with this case, that he's going to pick up. Number 1, preventing the course of justice. Number 2, aiding and abetting a criminal prime minister. And number 3, conspire to cover up criminality. What Dennis Chung don't understand, the last point, is that just like the SSL case that was referred to an international forensic auditor, the IC under their MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, already referred this case of the Prime Minister to an international forensic financial auditor. So no matter what Dennis Chung does in that hot seat, that he's in, the IC has the transcript and the documentation of everything that the international financial auditor has found and recommend, just like the DPP have the Kroll report of everything that Kroll and associate recommend for who to get charged. So if Dennis Chung want to be stupid and go ahead and tamper with this case, he's going to pick up some serious charges and he's going to spend his life and he's going to spend time in prison, maybe sharing the same cell with Big Mama and the Prime Minister. So listen, he's in the hot seat. The Prime Minister, who's arrogant, ignorant, stubborn, and think he's above the law is about to show him that the law is above him. And so the Prime Minister is going to go to prison, the first Prime Minister in the history of Jamaica to go to prison, and he's going to go down in national and international shame, disgrace, and embarrassment. Why? Because his arrogance, his pride is bringing him down. He's already exposed and don't even know it. So Dennis Chung, if I was you, I would do like the DPP. She left the Crow, and she couldn't convict or prosecute Gina and Panton alone, because Gina and Panton is not the only person should be indicted and go to prison. She passed it over to next May. She leave office in 3 months, 3 months, yes, in September. And she don't want to touch it because an international forensic auditor from Crow's and Associate already know that everything about Crow. So Dennis Chung, an international forensic financial auditor, already been through the IC report, already found the financial crimes of the Prime Minister. So do like the DPP and leave it alone. Back over to you, Sir Byron.
Thank you for that, Pastor Ricky. Thank you for that. Everything that you have spoken hit the nail on the head. Right? So true. Problem there, Pastor Ricky. Let me say this to my Jamaican people. If you didn't believe that Andrew Ones, right, is going to go to prison, let me tell you something. Believe now.
Yep.
Believe, and I am in no joke. No joke. No joke. Having said that, I want Darrell Vaz to come in front of the class tonight.
Uncle Byron, can I ask a question to all panel members here, please? Can Andrew be charged for treason? Has he done enough so far for treason?
All right, let me say this. And I want to be careful because Rattigan is a lawyer, right? And I would prefer for Rattigan, you understand, to speak as it relates to that question, because I am not a lawyer. I'm a criminal justice person. My faculty is in criminal justice. So I will just pass that on to Ratigan. Ratigan, please answer that.
Yeah, it would be difficult to prove it because you have to prove that. Essentially, we're talking layman's terms now. In secrets of the country.
I can't hear you. Somebody needs to mute your mic.
Ratigan, your music on, Rati.
You can't hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yeah, them they are drill me, you know. So.
All right.
No, what I say is that the treason is one of the worst crimes you could ever commit against your country, and essentially what it is, it's selling out your secrets, and you could, I mean, you could make the argument that he sold out Jamaica, but that doesn't necessarily translate to him selling out the secrets of Jamaica. He can say him sell out the country, and we see examples of that. We see that with Venezuela, we see that with Cuba, we see that with the people of the Western Sahara. Well, him sell out them, but it's a difficult charge to prove that him sell out the country's secrets, and that goes to the heart of treason, where you're selling out confidential information. So it will be difficult. I don't think we're there yet. Yeah.
All right. So Spinks, you're okay with that answer from the lawyer? All right. I don't want to speak in terms of Ratigan faculty and he's here on the platform. Now, Jamaica people, let me say this, because earlier this week I spoke to Brother Ratigan as it relates to some investigation that I'm doing. And I said, you know, Dr. Ratigan, look on this. We need ATI on this issue. And so then I don't know where Ratigan reached on that ATI, because truth be told, I said, okay, all right. I didn't want to just push Ratigan into that. I said, okay, let me just come on tonight's program, and some of the evidence that I had discovered, right, will also encourage Ratigan to do ATI going forward as from tonight. So what I investigated as a result of the drill and the pattern of behavior that we have seen with the drill, I decided that, okay, all right, you know what? I am going to, look into some other procurement. And when I do the research, people, one of the procurement that I came upon, right? I know say a lot of JLP people are going to run over now. But I tell you something. When we finish tonight, we are asking the Integrity Commission investigators to look into what we are going to discuss tonight. We are asking MOCA to look into this. And we are asking the People's National Party to probe this. Now, so what I discovered a $2 billion procurement and scanner devices through our ports of entry. Jamaica people, let me say this. We have 5 ports of entries. We have 3 by the air and 2 by the sea. Now you see what I'm going to show you tonight, people, is a $2 billion procurement and scanning system for customs. I am not going to just talk about it. I'm going to show the evidence so Jamaica people see it for themselves. Now, without any delay on it, let us lift up that, show that the world can see what I'm talking about. Now, Darrell Vaz, you need to come in front of the class, and do this. Because we are going to reveal what we are going to reveal. Now, Jamaican people, look at this. Hear the evidence, because we don't speak around here now, we don't have the evidence and we don't have research and we just speak loosely. We don't speak loosely on mystic sensation. We don't come on mystic sensation. You come because you want to hear the truth and you want to get the facts. Let me speak. Ed Boy, if you are listening to me, Ed Boy, I have sent you the link for you to tune in because particularly with this issue, you understand, I would like to ask some questions as well, Ed Boy. So I've already sent you the link. So if you get the link, right, you can just tune in with us, right, where this situation is concerned. Now let us read, people. Give you the date, Tuesday, March 12, 2019. 2019, you know, people. The Jamaica Customs Agency is procuring a $2 billion scanning system machine to be installed at the ports. All right, people. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Customs Agency, Velma Ricketts Walker, the current system is at the end of its useful life. But speaking yesterday during an online forum titled Customs Meets the Diaspora, Ricketts Walker sought to assure the public that the system still works. That is the old system. Even though it is not the sharpest 3D images, we are doing the best we can of it. And the system is just as good as the analyst behind it, Ricketts Walker said. Now, in fact, she said the 14-year-old system was helpful in the detection of 20 firearms at the wharf in Kingston 2 weeks ago. The shipment comprised of 4 rifles, 1 submachine gun, and 15 handguns. That is what the whole system found. Now, Kingsley Henry, Director of Cargo Imaging, told the Gleaner that preparations were in train to engage a consultant and the acquisition, people want to listen to this enough, of the system should be complete in 24 months. So now, people, we're talking about 2019, right? So in 24 months would take you to 2021. I want to check that, people. Come on, people, follow me. At the same time, the custom boss said the agency is working with local and overseas law enforcement officials to keep contraband out of Jamaica. She also said the custom was looking to upgrade the entire landscape of the security at the ports. Now, look at our people. As I said, we have 5 ports of entry. So then, the upgrade would simply mean that the scanning system would have put to each port. We are giving them the benefit of the doubt that they were making a reference to put this new scanning system at all of our ports. Giving them the benefit of the doubt. Giving them the benefit of the doubt to cover the 5 ports of Jamaica as it relates to, right, air and sea. People want to follow where they are going on as it relates to air and sea. We have 3 air, which is the Fleming Airport, Norman Manley Airport, and only the Donald Samstar Airport. And we have the 2 wards, the Montego Bay wards and the Kingston wards. Just updating the people so the people can follow us. Now watch this now, people. He also said the custom was looking to upgrade the entire landscape of people of the security at the ports. The entire landscape, man. Don't follow me, you know. Now, open quote. We are working alongside the terminal operators as well, not to only ensure we have proper machines, but to ensure the CCTVs that are there work properly while we ensure that the physical security that is there gets the proper fitting services and put strict structures on them to abide, she said. End of quote. Richard Walker also said the authorities were looking to close any gaps, want to hear that, people, in the agency security infrastructure to see how best we can have a corruption-free customs. And in that, emphasis also be placed on raising awareness among custom officers. People are not here. All right, take it away. So what Mystic Sensation did? Let me tell you what Mystic Sensation did. Mystic Sensation said, all right, come. So we have 5 ports of entry. Totally as it relates to the procurement and as it relates to the internal pricing, right? The procurement is $2 billion. Watch this, people. Watch this, people. Look where me I go. So what Mystic Sensation did, Mystic Sensation said, okay, all right. Do some investigation on this. Let us go to this document, WWJ Jamaica, safeguard employees amidst. All right. Let us do some research and investigation on this $2 billion procurement, because we see what
Uncle Byron, can I interject here and say something?
Yes, go ahead.
There are actually 3 ports by sea.
Yes.
The Falmouth one, half of it belongs to the government and it's used for cargo also.
Okay.
Sometimes it's used for cargo and sometimes it's used for cruise ships.
Okay.
Equally.
So
right.
what is that?
There's 3. So it's 6 in all. 3 by port and 3 by air.
Thank you.
Yeah.
3 by port. Thank you for that correction.
Right.
That's why we have you here in
All right.
things. To
No,
make sure you
actually,
keep us in line. When we get out of hand, you understand, and we don't have it totally in totality. You understand, someone on the panel, right, would guide us. Thank you for that, please. Love that. Jamaica safeguard employees amidst port management changes, Fix Jackson tell government. Now, why I'm pulling up this document is to show you what the Andrew Holness administration had done as it relates to the people who train in that skill set to find weapons and drugs, and what the Jamaica Labour Party administration had done, because under the so-called procurement of putting new system in place. You understand? An overcharge, and where it seems like billions of that dollars gone into their pocket as it relates to really update the system. I want people to follow me and where I'm going. Now, watch this now. Kingston, Jamaica, March 9, 2024, the People's National Party is expressing deep concern over the potential impact on current employees amidst the government decision to subsume the Port Management Security Limited under the Customs Department. Because you know why? They want to carry out this procurement process here. Now, the opposition has been alerted to actions indicating the termination of services of the Ports Management Security Limited, a subsidiary entity of the Port Authority of Jamaica. Member of Parliament of the South St. Catherine, Fitzjackson, highlighted that the PMSL was born out of September 11 event in the United States and came into operation in 2005 as a non-conspicuous entity responsible for numerous interception of arms, illicit drugs, and other contrabands entering the country through our seaport. The recent interception of 64 guns and nearly 1,000 rounds of ammunition underscore the crucial contribution of the PMSL to national security. Take it away, honey. So I am wondering why that, okay, all right, if Andrew Holness, right, so interested, Andrew Holness administration is so interested to find guns, to find drugs, then why Andrew Holness administration, you understand, would made redundant for those people who are skilled? Now we have seen where Andrew Holness also putting Dennis Strong as chief head of Fed, because Andrew Holness know that Dennis Strong is handicapped as it relates to the criteria. Just as how Andrew Holness remove the PMSL workers from the ports. Now, look here, people. You know what I did? I said, okay, since you have a $2 billion procurement, people, come on, people follow me. Look what I did. Let us go to the document in terms of finding out the cost of those scanners. This is where we're going. Let us dig up the document, and I did the research to find out what is the most expensive cost for the scanners. So now we have 6 ports of entry, 3 by air, 3 by sea. People, watch this now. I want to read this now with me now. This is where Rotterdam is going to do the ATI. This is where the People's National Party is going to query. This is where now the Integrity Commission is going to query. So I want particular interest, keen interest to look on this in terms of what we are going to display here. How much do airport security scanners cost? That is my search. So people want to see the search in terms of what I did. How much do airport security scanners cost? Rotterdam, look on this. Airport security is an integral part of every passenger's travel experience. So much so that we deliberately plan to, on arriving at the airport, 2 to 3 hours in advance so that we can appropriately vet it. We then proceed to wait in, atrociously long lines, take off our belts, shoes, and any other outlayers that we may be wearing, and finally pass through the full body scanner to the secure side of the airport. It's only natural to ask the question, how much does this entire setup cost? Let's take a closer look at the different types of airport security scanners and find out. Now, Jamaican people, follow me now. There are 5 different scanning methods that are commonly used at airports today: magnetic imaging, X-ray imaging, puff machines, magnetometers, and swabbing. Magnetic full-size machines, magnetic imaging use millimeters wave radiation to create 3-dimensional images of travelers. Scanners built using this technology are able to catch metal and non-metal weapons alike on a person's body. However, they do not detect the chemical signature of explosives. The cost of millimeter wave scanners ranges between $150,000 people to $200,000 per unit. Rotterdam, Moya, see this. The cost of millimeter wave scanners ranges between $150,000 and $200,000 per unit. Now, X-ray imaging use, right? You get it. X-ray radiation to create 2-dimensional images of travelers and identify any hidden weapons that they may be carrying, just like magnetic imaging. This technology does not reveal anything below the surface of the skin and therefore cannot be used to recognize contraband inside a person's body. Scanners built using this technology cost $190,000 per unit for the body scanning kind and $35,000 to $45,000 for the baggage checking type. Now, puffer machines distinguish themselves from millimeter wave scanners and X-ray machines by blowing air onto passengers to displace any potential residue from explosives, which can be picked up by the scanner. Such machines cost $160,000 per unit, but are considerably more expensive to maintain due to being extremely fragile and prone to breakage. Even sometimes as simple as exposure to dirt or humidity can break a puffer machine. More simple tactics, the magnetometers or metal detectors can be used to detect any sort of metal object like a weapon on a person. They do not work on ceramic or plastic items, and although they are relatively affordable to purchase, labor costs associated with their operation can make them more expensive. Take that away. Let us get into the marks. Brother Rattigan. So this is where I'm at. Let us use the most expensive one, which range from 150,000 to 200,000. Let us give the Jamaican government the benefit of the doubt. We are using 200,000. So then, if you are going to buy each scanner for each airport, now that we understand that, okay, we have 6 ports of entry, 3 ports by sea, 3 by air, right? And we are using the most expensive cost, Brother Rattigan, which we are going with the 200,000 one.
1.2 million.
Yes, from 150,000 to 200,000. But let us use the 200,000 to give the Jamaica Labour Party the benefit of the procurement. Because let us assume that they buy the most expensive one, Rattigan. So then when we look on 200,000, Rattigan,
Times
6 times 200,000 will give you $1.2 million. Am I right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, Ratty, let us ask the question. If the Jamaica Labour Party administration, right, ensure that all 6 ports of entry being equipped with the most expensive of what we just showed, which is 150,000 to 200,000, right? Which is 1.2 million US dollars. So let us do a quick thinking out of my brain now, let us give Jamaica Labour Party the benefit, you understand? So we are going to use the most current rate. So we talk about might be $165 to 165 Jamaican dollars to 1 US dollar. So then, okay, for the 6.2, right? Let us break it down, right? If we're talking about 1 million, right? We don't talk about the 0.2, we are talking the 1 million. Wouldn't that the 1 million would be 165 million Jamaican dollars as it relates to the conversion? Follow me now, follow me, Ratty. Right?
Mhm.
So then we are talking about basically said 1.3 or 1.4 million dollars in totality of what we just calculated there. So then Ratty now, let me ask now Jamaica Labour Party and let me ask you, Ratty, oh, we have $2 billion procurement for that.
All right. Couple of things. One is, I did a show a while back on entry points in Jamaica, legal entry points, and there are actually, was it 17 airports in Jamaica.
17?
Yeah, 17. And
Okay.
there are more than 10 ports. I did this show, I don't know, maybe somebody in the chat will remember it. But here's what happened. You have 3 international airports, you have 3 domestic, 2 military, and then you have 9 private airports. Now, the question is the government putting scanners at these private airports? The answer is
no.
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 No. So, but the only reason why I put that inside is because somebody might say, well, it's not 3 airports, it's 10. So then the question becomes, okay, are they purchasing scanners for those airports that you're talking about? And the answer is no.
No.
So no, we're back to 3. We have 3 international and 3 domestic, but I guarantee you that if they're going to buy any scanners, they're going to put them at the international airports. They're not going to buy scanners and put them 10 airports, because some of these airports, they're like for like they have one in Nain for bauxite people. They're not going to put one there, right? They're not going to put one there. They're going to put them at the one in Boscobel, Kingston, Montego Bay. That's
Okay.
where they put them. And if they're going to put them at ports, they're going to put them at Kingston and Montego Bay. Maybe they put one at Falmouth. But getting back to your question, which is, how do we account for 2 billion if you're going to put scanners in 6 places? You can't account for it. You cannot account for it. And here's the thing. It was only last year that the Prime Minister gave a speech. Was it last year or this year? He gave a speech saying that one of these international conferences, saying that he's going to buy scanners for the ports of entry in Jamaica. So then I said, well, what happened to the 2019 money in 2019 for the scanners that he was going to buy? No, I know you give me a little bit of homework then. I went and I checked out the homework. If you is Lady Anne Marie is not there, right? Because I was going to show the people how to. She there?
Yeah, she's coming.
Yeah, all right. When she come, I'm going to ask her to just put up JAM's website, and I'm going to show the people how to get to JAM's website, navigate it, and get to procurement.
I think they removed that, Ratty. I think
they didn't remove it. No, what they did, the Integrity Commission in 2020 said that this information should be confidential, and therefore they're not going to. Because remember, the Contractor General used to collect this information.
Yes.
And then the Integrity Commission in 2020 said, no, this is confidential information and should not be shared with the public. And I know for a fact right now that JAMP is lobbying to get this thing changed so that they can go back. And when they go back, I think they're only going to miss 3 months out of, from 2022 till present. I think they're only going to miss 3 months. So everything's going to be there. But here's the thing. 2019, there is no record. There's no record of 2 billion, a contract being awarded to anyone to buy scanners. So I don't know where that money went, because I hear him talking now that he's going to buy scanners now. And remember, he said that in 2019. He said it's going to be implemented within 2 years, within 24 months. Yeah. Right. And here it is. That's 2019. So that should be done 2021. And here it is in 2024, 2025. He's saying, yeah, we're going to buy scanners for all the ports of entry. So something is not right. Something is not right. I don't know where that money went, because the way he said it as if the money was budgeted.
Yes.
It was budgeted. The question is, where did the money go? How was it spent? We don't know.
So Ratty. So we have to do some digging as it relates to whether or not that $2 billion, right, that they budgeted. But Ratty, the thing again, as it relates to that budget, who would have done the internal billing for that? Because that is ridiculous based on what we have just seen on the internet. You understand the price for those scanners range between 150,000 to 200,000. So how did they come about $2 billion?
I surrender. I don't know.
Cost overrun, man. That's their MO. Cost overrun.
What we are looking at, Ratty. Okay, all right. Based on what the Prime Minister said, right, in terms of a $2 billion budget prepared. And the reasons why we are putting out this, Ratty, because if they have not done that, we don't want them to do it. And rob taxpayers. We are asking them, can you explain to us how you come by that internal billing of $2 billion?
Maybe they asked the mayor of Portland to do the maths for them.
Sounds like kickback to everybody: the permanent secretary, the MP, the custom. Everybody get a piece of the pie.
Okay, so Ratty, where we need to go from here is whether or not, right, that was definitely, that contract was awarded to anyone as it relates to $2 billion, right, worth of so-called procurement and those scanners, right? Because it's either, okay, our ports of entries have not been upgraded then.
Right. And then I know for a fact that CBP, Homeland Security, they will provide you with scanners, and given Jamaica's geographical location, it will be easy because when I was in South Africa, they gave scanners to South Africa.
Okay. All right. My question to you, Rati, if the Jamaica Labour Party administration want to really stop drugs and guns coming into the country, why did they get rid of the PMSL workers who have the expertise in detecting these weapons coming in and drugs coming in? Why did they get rid of them?
Yeah, that makes no sense. I mean, it made no sense, still don't make no sense, because those were the experts. Those people were trained to do that job. And so now they're going to turn it over to the regular customs people. And no, it makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense.
Wow.
I'm trying to get to the keep talking. I'm gonna share this video with
Sir Byron, I did the math, right?
Okay, Pastor Ricky, just come in in the same time.
Yeah, I did the math, and I calculated for all 6 ports of entry at $158 to 1. Not the current, because it just went up to 160 this year, but I did it at 158 to 1. So I got a total of $189 million for all 6 ports to have at least one scanner. That would leave a balance of funds of $1.8 billion. So it goes to show you that the cost overrun is like what's going on with the drill. So after 9/11, the U.S. government around the world, George Bush W. Jr., told every country that in order for planes to fly into America, they have to secure their airport to know the passengers are coming in have been screened. Because Richard, that shoe bomber, I forgot his last name, the Jamaican-born shoe bomber that almost blew up a plane over the Atlantic with an explosive, plastic or liquid explosive. So every airport had to change their, and so the U.S., as Sir Rattigan says, was helping the poor nations with the scanner. So the question is, if the United States donated the scanners to Jamaica to help beef up security at the borders, for their, and then are they billing? I mean, we have to see the invoices and the serial numbers of each scanner and the manufacturing, label and who made it, and the cost. First of all, if you're buying items in bulk, you're not going to pay the unit price, because we estimated, give them the IN of 200,000. You're not going to pay the IN cost of 200,000 if you're buying at least 6. You're going to get a discount. Secondly, if you are a government nation, you're going to even get a further reduction in price. So, at a discount rate. So these people are scheming off the top of everything that is coming into Jamaica and billing I don't know how their procurement process in terms of each line item costs, how they derive at the cost, but something is fishy about this, like the drill. And so it's gonna require some ATI, like I said, Sir Ratty gonna sleep 3, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock a morning, and the Holy Spirit nudge him and him jump up out of him sleep and start by the ATI. So it look like
just I filed 3 appeals with the tribunal this week already. I mean, I have another like 4 or 5 to file.
I'm gonna know tonight when you come off of the show, you have at least 2 to 3.
Lady Anne-Marie.
Yes, sir.
No, finish up. Can you just share that screen with me when, please?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can jump in. I'm done.
All right, folks. All right, what you do is you go to JAMP. Just Google JAMP, JAMP, stand for Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, right? It's this civil society group in Jamaica funded by the EU, and they get some funding from some small funding from other countries as well. But please be familiar with this, because if you want to write ATIs, just come here, and you can ATIs on procurement. Just come here. Now, this, once you get to it, once you Google it, and this is the homepage, and you know, say Jenny Collar, she did a laugh now, because we not get paid for this, by the way, no people. This is Jump's thing. I don't work for Jump, but it's a wonderful tool. Now, you can actually file your ATI right here. On the right, it says far right, ATI request tool. You can file your ATIs here. Very, very easy. But here's where we're going to go tonight. Procurement tracker. This is where you want to get involved with if you want to know who the government give out contracts to, for how much money, to buy what, all of that. Now, you come right here when you come to procurement tracker, and you click right here. Click here. And it's going to open up this right here for you, right? And let me go back up on. All right. When it stops, I'll show you something. All right. What you do is, let's try medtech, because that's a big thing in Jamaica now, with our medtech and medtronic and the drill and all that. So you come to contractor right here.
Medtech. In medtech.
Yeah. You click on that, and then you see a whole bunch of ticks in the boxes. Just click on all, and then it removes all of them, right? Then you just click on that, and then you do medtech, right? So you do medical, and you're going to see a bunch of things come up when you do medical. You see that? So then you go one space, and then you go tech, TECH, and then you see two companies come up: Core Medical Technology and Medical Technologies Limited. You want medical, for this example, we're going to do medical technology. So you click on that, and then you just hit apply, and look at what's going to happen. Now, what will happen is, there it is. What will happen is, like I was telling you, from April 2006 to September 2020, it's right here. Let me click on this. The information that they have in this database is from 2006 to 2020, from the old contractor general. No. And it was in 2020 that the Integrity Commission decided that they weren't going to make public any more procurement information. Now, here's what happened from up to 2020. This company, Medical Technologies, they received 222 contracts, right? Valued at over 200 million, and it's 5 entities. Here are the 5 entities that gave them contracts. Come on. All right, here are the 5 entities. Right? Now, what you do is, if you just take the mouse and just hover over the sections, it will tell you, for example, you see right there, Southeast Regional Health Authority, they got 171 contracts valued at 95 million. Now, this is going, remember now, you know, this only goes up to 2020?
2020, yeah.
2020.
Right. And now they're fighting to get all of that information the last 5 years to put inside this database. You put it over here, you see University Hospital, it tells you how many contracts. Come down here, National Health Fund, it tells you. Then you run over here, this one over here, Ministry of Health, it will tell you. It tells you how many contracts for how much money. But here's where it gets interesting. See that right here, where it says right here? It's a single source, restricted, national, competitive, and emergency. For this company, what it's saying, single source means that the government came to you and said, we're going to give you a contract. Nobody knows about it. We're going to give you a contract. Because when you think about a bid and a contract process, the contract process, you're thinking that everybody puts in a bid and then the lowest bidder will get no. Single source means that they went to you, they come to you and they said, we're going to give it to you. Restricted.
But Ratty, what are the question in terms of, you know, like what you're pointing out, that as it relates to that, would that go against breaching the fair trade contract?
No, because it's allowed under the laws of Jamaica that they can give a single source. We need to change that. But here's the other one now.
Yeah.
Restricted means that it's still not open to the public. They get like 3 to 5 people and said, we just need you 5 people. We don't want nobody else know about it. We just want you 5 people to put in a bid on this thing. And you know how it go already. Me know you, me I go give you the contract, right?
Yeah.
And we may rotate it. We may be five, it may be three friends them have, and the three friends them just rotate the contracts around them. Then the national competitive, this is the one now that you're thinking of when you say, okay, we're going to do a bidding, we're going to put out the bid and everybody can bid. That's national competitive. And then the last one, it says emergency, and that speaks for itself. Now, let me go back up and show you something. Just look at the colors, you know. Just follow the colors.
Yes.
Let me go right here. So it shows that this company, 56% of the time, 57 round it up, 57% of the time, they got a restricted contract, meaning that they got a contract where only 3, maybe 4 people. The government said, just you 4 alone. We don't want nobody else know about it. Just you 4 put in the bid. 57% of the time they got that contract. The single source one, where the government went to them and said, we're going to give you alone. We're not tell nobody. Them got it 29% of the time. Emergency, 10%, and national competitive, 3%. Then you come over this side, so, and you say, you look at the year to the right, where you see the bars. If you notice, you'll see something that's interesting right here. Most of the contracts they got during the JLP run government. You see it right here. Most of the contract, 2010, 11, 16, 17, 18, you see it right here. Most of the contracts they got it through JLP when the JLP was in power. And let me see what else is down there. So, and down here, you can see all of the contracts that they received. See it right there, the contract, the description about how they got the contract, what they provided, and the value. It's all here, people. Familiarize yourself with this tool. It's there and it's free.
Okay, but Ratigan, the next thing, can an investigation done now in terms of all the contracts that they receive from the government? We check for the inventories of these items in the areas that they are supposed to get, like the Southeast Regional Health Authority, the National Health Fund, the university. Can we now do an audit on these inventories?
Yes, indeed. You can go back and say, hey, you got money to purchase these things and deliver them to the hospital. Now show us, where are they?
Exactly.
You can. And this makes it easy. This makes it easy for you because everything is right there. So this is an invaluable tool, people. And I urge you to use it. If nothing else, if you just have a curiosity about who got what contract. And this, by the way, this only, huh?
Sorry to stop you there. Let us go back to the restricted contract.
Okay.
Something that I want to ask. So when we talk about restricted contracts as it relates to, if we find out as it relates to the shares that Donovan Williams hold, and this is why it is important, this is why the people need to know, that if we discover, if it later reveal that those shares that Donovan hold, maybe those shares maybe belongs to Tufton, or said Andrew Wallace, where we have 50,000 shares, this simply means that the government now would be awarding contracts to themselves.
You're absolutely correct.
There's nothing new under the sun, man. They've been doing that.
You're absolutely, but except that no, the information is right here. Like you go to single source over here, and single source, you see that and you know there are statements out there that someone connected to the university is also connected to medtech. Big, if that is true, huge conflict of interest. And look, they got 20 contracts right there, 20 contracts, single source, where somebody we're gonna give it to you. No competition, no notification, nothing. They just said you are going to get this contract, and then just give them the contract. 20, they got 20 contracts like that. No, again, keep in mind, this data only goes up to 2020. We don't even know what happened between 2021 and 2024 or 25. We will find out soon because I've been told that it's just a matter of time before they release all of that information because the database is ready to receive the information. But there you go, 20 contracts that they got without any competition. And National Health Fund gave them 4, Ministry of Health gave them 1. And then they got one national, look at this, one national competitive contract they got. One where everybody, where they publish it and say anybody can apply.
Yes.
One. See the brown, you see the brown over here, so that's it. One they got for 6 million. But look at this one here. So they restricted. Restricted again is where, you know, you have your Kumbolo, your friend and company, 2 or 3 people, and you just, again, it's not advertised. You just put it out to these 3 or 4 people, and you say, listen, we're gonna get you know, you see the potential for corruption here, right?
Serious
and
corruption.
Kinds
Serious
of
corruption.
And they can just, if you have 4 people in a clique who sell a particular product, you can just rotate the contracts between them, and then you just collect your kickbacks, and nobody else is allowed to compete for those contracts. Just the 4. I've heard that it's between 3 and 5 people, and they get all of those contracts, and they just happen to get that type of contract. They happen to get 56, almost 57% of the time they get that contract. This we have to change the procurement system. We have to change it.
And if you look at it, Ratty, the total value awarded, right, is what? 249 million in a Ratty in contracts to Meditaking.
Yeah.
And where the possibility that those shares that Donovan Williams hold, right, the potential still exists that it could be, those shares could be belong to Tufton, or based on what we are seeing, Andrew Wellness, we don't know, right? Or by name Carl Bruce, right? Serious conflict of interest there, right? The corruption turn up, nepotism and cronyism, right? That's up.
Because he's over here. He's right here. He's right there. If it's true that he's the owner, he's right here. And they got 20 of those contracts, single source, where they just said, you get the contract.
So if corruption.
Yeah, if it's true, you have a guy sitting over there. If it's true, you have a guy sitting over there with shares in a company, and the company is doing business with the government. And nobody knows. Because why? Because you have a parliamentarian who says, I'm just holding shares for a beneficial owner, and I'm not going to tell you who the beneficial owner is.
Then if this company should start getting contracts from the government.
Yeah, but the government won't stop, because if it, you're saying that the government is involved.
Exactly.
Yeah, if this guy's over here, if this guy, if it's true that somebody employed by the University Hospital of the West Indies, that they are the beneficial owner of the shares in MedTech, and they're getting these contracts where they don't have to compete for anything, they get the contracts, and that person over there is in a position to influence or reward those contracts, then we have a serious corruption problem. Serious corruption. Because first of all, we know that they're trying to hide it, because why would somebody hold on to shares for a beneficial owner for years and years and years and years? Why?
Because he's getting his cut out of it.
Atio.
Well, all right. but Ratty, back to the scanners. So where we are at as it relates to the scanners, Ratty, we need to find out if this process did actually take place, and who get the contract if that is the case. Because we're talking about $2 billion worth of taxpayers' money.
You see, that's why we try to educate our people, because they're so consumed, as they should, about putting food on the table, that when you talk to them about a contract over here, they can't see the connection, or they just don't want to see the connection, or they just don't have time, because they have something that's more immediate for them, and that is survival. So they don't go over there and see it. You know, it's like with the gender issue. And I knew if I talk to somebody who come from places behind me, them say that have to do with me. It does, because guess what happened? They must spend your money every March and they must have a function. Yet they don't have they don't satisfy the minimum requirements of the policy, which is that you must have a focal point, somebody who's overseeing the program, you must collect the data, and you must have a budget. And when I ask them, some of them tell me, oh, the budget is in the main budget. I said, no, we just want to know where you spend. Oh, I can't tell you that. You have to go and talk to. And we say, okay, well, you send it to them. Oh, no, we can't do that. So people, we just have to kind of educate our people about these things so that they get involved, because it's time is going. And the thing that show your people, I'm telling you, just get familiar with the JAMP website and go to the procurement, and you can do your own ATIs, because there's so many questions there, because you're going to see things that you're going to go, I didn't know the government purchased this. And I'm looking at the stats now to see what they purchased, when they purchased, who purchased it. I see all that. But like you were saying, Byron, when you start doing audit and say, well, where is the equipment that you guys purchased?
Yeah.
Can't find it.
Because Sir Ratty and Sir Byron, melting pot, and we see them find the white powder uptown in a St. Andrew. How much time? Meaning that it came to the ports of entry. It was already transitioned to a location in St. Andrew. We see last week 220 guns in a West Kingston, and over 50,000 rounds of ammunition, meaning it makes its way to the port of entry and go to a certain designation location. So who is allowing this to happen? And Chang says them know Fairfax said 220 guns coming per month. And now we see that to the Gleaner article that the port MPLS MPSL contractors are no longer at the ports. So how does this stuff, all of these guns and illicit drugs coming in, ammunitions, exotic animals coming into Jamaica, how are they reaching certain place where them I said them find it in a certain location? Sick animals find all in a West St. Elizabeth or the area. How did they reach there? So why is it not being scanned at the port of entry? So are we coming to the conclusion that the government probably didn't buy the scanners?
Well, that is a question, Pastor Ricky. Did the government update the ports of entry with the scanners as it relates to what they budgeted for, as it relates to $2 billion, right? Just like, you see over $200 million awarded to Meditech, right? What we need to do an audit, right, of those inventories to say then, for example, if Meditech buy 10 items for St. Catherine Hospital, so to speak, we need to go there and do a physical check, right? So that we can say, okay, all right, Meditech, based on what we are seeing, purchase 10 items for St. Catherine. Let us go there, do a physical check to see if those 10 items are there.
Yeah.
So that we need to do a physical inventory. That's what needs to be done. Now, since you brought up the gun issues, right? It begs for serious concern. Did we purchase those new scanners?
Yep.
And how did the $2 billion spent? Who get the contract for these? Are we still using the old scanners? Pinks, you have anything to say on the issue in terms of our curiosity where the scanners are concerned?
You're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted, Pinks.
Still muted.
We're not hearing you. You're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted, Sphinx. Not hearing you.
Oh, hold on. She needs to
Press the button. Press the button.
Okay, go ahead now.
there, because I'm trying to unmute her, but she muted. Oh.
You mute it back again, Sphinx. Or unmute it. Go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Okay, from my side, I can't see it. My thing is my screen is having a
You're
issue right now. Anyway, yeah, you can hear me now. Yeah,
yeah.
it's unfrozen now. Yeah, it's back now. It's like I had an internet glitch a while ago. Anyway,
Yeah.
let me explain something to you. My business is in construction. My training is in architecture, right? And
Yes.
when I have done several shops within the airports and the ports, right?
Yeah.
Including Falmouth here. And from going back and forth with materials to do the build out of several shops in these areas, what I have come across and what I've noticed is that the weakest link in every security is the human factor. I have seen enough between the airports and the peers that I've worked at to know that no matter how much money you spend on a scanner or how much scanners you have at these ports, the human factor is the weak link.
Yes.
All right. Many of these people you see working at these machines, that is why they have removed the trained ones and put in the ones who do not know how to work these machines in these positions, and they know they can turn off or turn on or manipulate these machines to make whatever they want to go through go through. I have seen enough. I have seen enough
All
as
right.
somebody who work within these airports. The human factor is always a weak link because some of these people who are working these machines are being paid such a limited amount of money. They don't have good characters, and there was an incident at Sangster's Airport years ago where a small plane was discovered at the end of the runway because the night shift workers were supposed to refuel the plane. But that guy who was given the duty to put the fuel in the plane in that incident, he was not paid beforehand, so he did not do it. The plane sat out there at the end of the runway until the day shift people came on duty, and that's how he was spotted. And that plane was coming from South America, going up somewhere up north,
Wow.
loaded full of drugs. There's only when you have a glitch in the system, the human factor where somebody's not being paid, you'll find that most of this contraband has been found. So we finding drugs at the airport, at the port of, or the guns or whatever, most of the time is when somebody's not being paid. Because most of the people who work at these ports are being paid to look the other way.
So basically, Pinks, what you're saying to us that the ammunition and so-called guns that we are finding is just minuscule as to what is passing through. That is what you're saying.
Thank you very much. So when Chang is saying 220 guns come through every day, he knows what he's talking about. He
Wow.
knows what he's talking about.
You know,
You
let me,
understand what I'm trying to say? And I have seen, I've many times, because I work in these areas, many times you're going through and the person who's standing you saying, the security guards and the people who work there are saying, you know, I'm lunch money today, they're begging you things, they're begging you favors, and they're willing to do things for you to compromise their principles or what they are employed to do.
Wow.
I have been approached by them too.
Yes.
But because I'm an honest Jamaican and I don't want to bring in anything into the airport or any contraband, I said no. Because at the end of the day, I have a contract with these areas. And if I am caught, I lose my job, I lose my reputation. I look at it like that. So no money is worth selling my good name for.
So let me ask you a question, Pink. Since you are there, have you seen? Can you say to us whether or not there's that the system was updated?
No, it was not. It was not. It was not. So it was not updated, dated. So I'm not like Andrew. Maybe this kind of at Andrew's house.
What box? I know what is. Okay.
You know what? You know.
Because I'm at Falmouth Pier. I'm at Sanchez Airport. I go there to do work. What is new about what was there from when Porsche the airport? I when Porsche the Falmouth Pier.
So then, just come in, Ratty. We want to know if that $2 billion was spent or any, because since there's no updated system.
What I was thinking was that the Errol Flynn Airport, Bosco Bell, when they found the drugs out there, right? You can't tell me that they didn't have cameras out there. That's the thing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't tell me that. And up to now, remember, they've been promising us weeks after they found the drugs. They said, we're going to make an arrest. And the man who was most vocal, him there Turks and Caicos now as police commissioner, and we still haven't made an arrest.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, I just did some quick calculation here. And from 2020 to 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, if you listen to what the Minister of National Security says, approximately 9,600 guns landed in Jamaica, 9,600 illegal weapons. And over that same period, you know how many they recovered? Less than 2,000. They recovered about 2,560. 2,500, that's less than a third. So when them tell you about them find 200 guns, the reporters them last week, Thursday, when them start talking that nonsense, they should have asked him, say, listen, for this period, we have, 12,000 guns coming from 2020, from the time you made the statement until now. And we have only recovered 3,500. So what are we celebrating? You should
exactly.
The guns them off of the street. And so I don't understand. I don't understand.
But Ratty, the questions still remain, right? As it relates to the persons who have the skill set. Why the Jamaica Labour Party administration, right, make them redundant if they wanted to find the drugs and the guns?
Because they want less qualified people to work the machine, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Let us bring in Melting Pot, because we don't like when Melting Pot that cool up, Melting Pot, come in at the team.
No, well, I mean,
What you are
I
saying,
have to
Melting
wait
Pot?
until everything simmer down, then I boil it up back.
All right.
Because when I look at the scanner and the cost that you source as using the highest figure of 2,000 US dollar, 200,000, right? Yeah, that would give you a total of what for the 6 of them?
1.2 million.
1.2 million.
Yeah.
Now 1.2 million using the exchange rate of 158 give you 161,160,000 Jamaican dollars.
Yes, you're correct.
Right? Okay. Now, if you take away that from the $2 billion that they project that these scanner would cost, there's a deficit of 1,838,340,000 Jamaican dollar rip-off kickback money.
Yeah, that would have potentially going to the pockets of politicians.
Yes.
So
we have a
the question that we
yes,
ask is, who is doing the internal billing for these procurement processes?
Well, the person in authority must be held accountable, whoever that person is.
Exactly.
That person must be held accountable.
And the permanent.
So I'm wondering, right, that's the person I'm coming to. Audrey Sewell, was it she at the time? 2019? Was Audrey Sewell the cabinet secretary or the permanent secretary at the time? I think she was
No,
more the permanent
she
secretary.
was the cabinet's secretary. She was the permanent secretary for in job creation, economic growth, and things like that.
Economical growth and development.
Well, whoever that person was at the time must be held accountable. That
Exactly.
person, yeah, is
But I think that should
conspiring.
fall on the Barrel Vars ministry.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when you look at 1,838,340,000 Jamaican dollar rip off kickback money, these people must send to prison for the rest of them life. We can't have these people operating like rogue in the society because it is costing Jamaican taxpayers too much. And the taxpayers are getting nothing for the contribution of tax that they provide to the government. So we have a serious problem. And these people have been doing this thing through all the ministry. This is a widespread corruption that they orchestrated from the outset when these people put their foot into God knows. This is not something that they went in and orchestrated. They had it planned and mapped out.
True.
When Andrew Wallace was campaigning and talking about corruption and throwing poison and all these things, this was his aim and his objective. This is the principle he had in store for the Jamaican taxpayers. Disregard. So we have a serious problem with this criminal regime, and the leader for the regime must be held accountable for all these malpractices within his government. And so we are calling on some senior civil servant who Jamaican taxpayers pay highly to carry out their duty. We need to call on them and we need to hold them accountable. They need to be hauled before the justice system because these people are not innocent to the criminality. Everyone who plays a part in the corruption that we see taking place in Jamaica, we must find them, bring them to justice. Because this is a widespread corruption. This is a ring of corruption that need to be dismantled, and people need to pay the penalty just like any ordinary civilian within the unfortunate communities in Jamaica. When these people are held on charges of corruption, money laundering, drugs trafficking, they are brought to justice and they pay the penalty. So these white-collar criminals that we have in Jamaica, the same treatment must be dealt out to them. We can't have it both ways because this sum of money, you know, these people don't have any conscience. A struggling country like Jamaica with a fragile economy cannot bear the brunt of this high level of criminality.
True.
And so we have to cap it once and for all and stop it all together. And I yield back the floor to another member.
All right, thank you. Now, panel, I'm going to play something, right? You know, for the panel to see this in terms of, right? I don't like to really speak out against any platform, you know. But when you have a particular platform that have, I would say, political interests, because I believe that before you come out and speak, you need to do your research.
Me too.
Right? And I have a platform that I'm going to speak to, right, as it relates to on-the-spot news media. Now, as it relates to the issuing of, as it relates to those weapons that was found, and the way on-the-spot news media put it out there, sends a narrative, right, that he did not investigate because he himself mentioned that. He himself mentioned that, okay, it is eerie set. Then I am saying to on this spot, if it is eerie set, why did you put it out?
Amen.
You're doing the research. Because if you hear something, right, and you are going to investigate and you can't find the source of the information to support what you have heard, why are you putting out that propaganda relating to the two guns? And then what he carefully done was to mix the truth and lies. This is not cool. This is deceitful. I am going to play the clip and make Jamaica decide it for himself. You're on the spot news media, right? Is giving the narrative, even though he did not investigate to say, okay, all right, as it relates to the weapons that come to the airport, the largest fine, as according to him, that two People's National Party activists involved for the shipping of those weapons. Where he has no facts. So people, I'm going to play it and make you hear it for yourself. Now let us play this. The biggest gun seizure in Jamaica history. Yeah. Listen to this paper as it relates to what on the spot news media putting out.
Oh, what did I do?
Let us take it back from the beginning in terms of what he's saying here. So unfortunate.
Explain, but something else was showing.
Right? So unfortunate in terms of what on the spot news media put out here.
The beginning.
Yes. Let us listen to what on the spot news media is saying.
Why did you cancel your Midjourney subscription?
I found this hidden AI that does everything I want for a one-time.
And wonderful Thursday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, I don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we're going in Jamaica. So just before we get into this morning's set of stories, it has been brought to my attention that many of the regular ones and ones them out there is subscribing to the wrong channel for the cartoon channel. Now the but it's just right across from Tivoli along Industrial Tech. Loading again on Friday. So for now, I will be dropping 2 per week. One on Tuesday and the other on Friday. So go over and subscribe if you have not done so already. So I could get on into this morning's set of stories, my peeps. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, a massive gun fine at the Tivoli Wharf again. Not Tivoli in terms of it's in Tivoli, but it's just right across from Tivoli along Industrial Terrace and also along Marcus Garvey Drive. For the older folks, right which part free zone used today. Yeah, man. So the government is calling it the biggest gun shipment bus in the history of Jamaica. Yeah, man. So a serious business going on there. Now, that wharf has always been a wharf where a whole heap of them type of thing there come true. We have seen it happening over the years upon years upon years. It continues to happen. So I'm going to give you a full rundown on the WAF there. But before that, I'm going to get into this. So the police are expected to provide a more accurate count of the illegal weapons seized over that WAF a day or so ago. And as I stated earlier, law enforcement has described it as the largest seizure of illegal guns and ammunition in Jamaica's history. So multiple law enforcement sources disclose that at least 220 illegal weapons, mainly pistols, just a few high-powered weapons, and thousands, over 10,000 assorted rounds of ammunition was seized at the facility. Now, the guns and ammunition were intercepted by members of the security forces and the Jamaica Customs Agency inside an industrial-sized water heater at a warehouse and industrial terrace in the Kingston Western Police Division. It's believed that there were 4 other water heaters in the same shipment, which of course originated from the United States of America. So sources close to On The Spot News Media would have suggested that the number of firearms intercepted is being anticipated to surpass the figure of 220, while the amount of ammunition is expected to exceed 10,000 rounds. So it is the second major gun find by the security forces and customs agency in that particular facility within 2 months. The last one was 24 pistols, 6 rifles, and 102 rounds of ammunition and 32 magazines. And that took place on the 18th of March. And that was confirmed by the police. So that particular WAF, my peeps, is a little problem place from as far back as I can remember. Because in the inception of that WAF, Tivoli gunman them used to control it. You had a Tivoli strongman, presently on your screen known as Splicer. He had an import license and he was one of the major gun player in Jamaica. Because Tivoli man not really too in the politics type of thing, to be honest. The man they in the money making business. So if you are PNP and you want to carry in certain things, as long as the money right, Splicer the man for bring it in for you. Yeah, man. So a whole heap of firearm come in through that particular WAF there. Years upon years upon years without being detected. But since the government put some different type of machinery in place and have a more stronger command over the day-to-day runnings, where customs, soldiers and police really have a more say-so in the day-to-day runnings. And that's why you see so much I get bust now in the WAF there. Now a thing that is cause for concern. The last firearm seizure and this one presently that we are talking about came from the same shipper, and this is fact, the very same shipping company.
This must be the most popular iSmart watch on the market right now. With it,
ship those firearms. Now I'm not casting blame or pointing fingers on the shipping company, hence the reason why I'm not calling their names. But what happens with these shipping companies? The man farming company have containers and people just put stuff in the containers. There is nothing set in place in America to scan whatsoever items that is being shipped to Jamaica. So the onus is on Jamaica to scan the stuff when they get here. So basically, to how the thing run loose in a foreign, you can pack a dozen dead body in our shipment and send it come and nobody in a foreign. Now I go figure out that because nothing is set in place to check a shipment before it leaves the shipment
Right.
point in America to wherever it a
That's
go.
not true.
So the onus is on
That is not
us in
true.
Jamaica
That is not true.
to check every single thing before it is allowed to enter and onto our nation's streets. I do believe if the government are going to keep that wharf open, I think that they should allow members from the Jamaica Defense Force to have a more say-so over the day-to-day runnings of that particular wharf. And if that can't be done, I would say let's do away with that particular wharf. Because over the years, they have been doing way too much that is to the demise of our country. Yeah, man. Now I've also seen an article being circulated all over social media, which states that at least 2 PNP activists are under investigation for attempting to smuggle the 220 weapons into the island ahead of general election. I have not yet confirmed any such investigation being led by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. But one thing I can tell you, On the Spot News Media will stay glued to this one and update you in subsequent newscasts.
Take him away, honey.
Yeah, man.
Take him away. Take him away.
Uncle Byron, can I say something?
Yes.
Can I say something? First
One
of
thing.
all, first of all, he is not the only person out there who put out fake news.
Yes.
All right, there are many of these people out there on these social media platforms that put out fake news. So you have to be careful of what you absorb and what you believe. Number two, as um as we know, there are 17 ports of entry for sea in Jamaica, right? And why would a PNP person use Tivoli Gardens wharf when we have so many other wharfs that are controlled by PNP people that we know of privately? Because Tankwell, as you know, Tankwell has his own wharf. Is of its own wharf. There are several other people who import things in this country who have their own wharf. Why would you use that one? The other point I would like to add to that is that why blame the PNP? Just like how they try to frame us for the Eventide home fire, they're trying to frame us again.
Exactly.
And I'm quite disappointed that this man who is popular on the social media platform choose to try and slander our good name. You understand me?
Yes.
But we know better. We know better. Because
Exactly.
we know that Tivoli Gardens walk is just a walk away from Tivoli Gardens. If
There
you
you
know
go.
Kingston well, you can just walk across the road and it's right there. So why would a PNP person endeavor to go into Tivoli Gardens wharf itself and ship things through there?
That don't make no
And the
sense.
other point I would like to make, the other lie I want to point out in his story is this. From my source that I got for information, that shipment was tracked from overseas. And what he's saying
Exactly.
about the US does not scan shipment, with us being our location in Jamaica right now, it's a security risk for everything that leaves their wharf. And Jamaica is a transit point for drugs and gun. The last what secretary came here and made and said that too in a speech. Jamaica is a transit point. So why wouldn't they try to lessen it by scanning whatever is coming here? Why would they just ship things from there to here without scanning it and double checking what is leaving their walls to come here? So that you see, when they're making up lies, they must make lies that make sense.
Exactly.
You understand me? It's only idiots who sit down and believe what he's saying.
All right.
Because the last point is that my information that I got said that the security teams there, agents there, tracked that shipment here. It was purposely sent out for them to track it to Jamaica.
Exactly.
So that is how. So when our Minister of Security is trying to make a press conference like it was us and our security team that found it, no. It was tracked and they were alerted here. And it was here.
And in many of the instances, let me support what you are saying, Spinks. In many of the instances, right, it is not
Yes.
Jamaican authority, right, who
Right.
first establish, right, are the findings of drugs and so forth. It is the United States provide them with intel.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
What he said there, right, is a lie in terms of United States not scanning and this and that and that. Bullcrap. Now,
Bullcrap.
Let us show the Jamaican people as it relates to, you understand, and this is what we are asking from the onset. If the Jamaica Labour Party want to stop the drugs and the gun, why did they make that particular skill set redundant? Why did they make it redundant?
Exactly.
Let us show the Jamaican people who is building up the violence. You understand? And remember, in the 1980, the Jamaica Labour Party responsible for bringing in guns in the island. Let us hear and show you the building up of the violence. Without any delay, please play this. Let us show Jamaican people the building up of the violence. Because Andrew Honest knows that he can't win the general election, right? They want to proceed down the road of violence. Let us show the evidence with that. Let us show the evidence.
Them trying to deny Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party its rightful place in the history books of this country. And we will never surrender to the PNP. No way!
Okay. Although that clip is low, this man Mackenzie is saying, right, that he will never, let me just be sure, and let me bring in melting pot. This man Mackenzie is saying that they will never surrender Jamaica to the People's National Party. So Jamaica belongs to him. Jamaica belongs to him and Andrew Holness and the JLP administration. Jamaica belongs to them. So what does he mean by that? If he's saying that we will never, so then Desmond Mackenzie doesn't believe in a democratic, you understand, a democratic society where you will have an election that is going to be held, and the election, depending on how the electorate vote, is going to decide the government. Desmond Mackenzie don't believe that. Desmond Mackenzie believes that his government, you understand, as it relates to a dictator government, that they are going to hold the government, they're going to hold the electorate at ransom, and decided that, okay, their administration will never surrender, you understand, Jamaica to the PNP. What does he mean by that? Let us play this next clip, people. Let us play this next clip. And here, you understand, what they are building up as it relates to the violence that they are building up. You understand? And the guns and drugs that is coming into this country.
And Mackenzie then made this comment.
All the people who are colluding, sharing information,
and
secretly trying to undermine this young man. And some of them should be ashamed of themselves. Because I bet you, if him had another name, and him had family background, nobody wouldn't touch him.
Boy.
But because him come from a humble place.
And so Mr. Mackenzie vowed to defend the integrity of the Prime Minister.
We are not, as a party, going to allow the PNP and its leadership to construct and to deliver anything that is going to destroy the image of Dr. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister and leader of the Jamaica Labour Party. And labor rights are saying this tonight. If it means that labor rights must take to the streets of this country in defense of Andrew Holness, then we are prepared to go out there and defend.
Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.
Okay. So the Jamaica Labour Party must prepare to defend Andrew Holness against the PNP. Because I don't know why Mark Golden tell Andrew Holness to go have 28 account. So now, okay, Mark Golden tell Andrew Holness to have 28 account. Mark Golden tell Andrew Holness to have $475 million running through various accounts in NCB. Mark Golden tell him to set up shell company. All of them there's something there. Mark Golden tell him to do all of them something. Mark Golden. So we can put everything for Mark Golden then. Because Mark Golden tell Andrew Holness to go in there, no sign on code of conduct. Mark Golden tell Andrew Holness, you understand, to go in there and rob taxpayers' money. Mark Golden tell them to go in there and have another Ponzi scheme. Mark Golden tell Andrew Holness to influence illegal awarding of contracts. Mark Golden also tell Andrew Holness to join SSL. Yes, man, Mark Golden, that you're going to have Mrs. Pickable, man. The CXC don't know nothing about him, you know. This is the reason why I behave like this, because CXC don't know nothing about him. And you have him in the parliament, they represent people. You understand? We are him and CXC in a malice. You understand what I say? So this is the start of behavior that you get. You understand? From a local political beating stick, we see I got kick up and box up now and then. And hear him now. You understand? The instigate violence. But let me tell you something. Who are the real people them who the shit the gun in Jamaica? Let us play this. And show Jamaican people that it is the Jamaica Labour Party responsible for this. Let us show the truth. Let us bring the truth out.
The police are today pursuing leads in what they have deemed the largest gun find in Jamaica's history. The massive gun bust was made at a warehouse on Industrial Terrace called 214, said to be owned by Andrew Gallimore, former Jamaica Labour Party Member of Parliament for West Rural St Andrew, in what authorities are saying could be considered domestic terrorism. Multiple law enforcement sources disclosed that at least 233 guns, mainly pistols, 74 rifles, and thousands of assorted bullets were seized at a facility located in Tivoli Gardens on Wednesday. Sources close to the investigation indicate that this is the fourth gun bust to happen at that warehouse in 2025. This location is a known transshipment point for illegal weapons and was called Dudas's hotspot when he was the Don for Tivoli Gardens. It's believed that there were 4 other water heaters in the same shipment which originated in the United States. One source speculated that this could be a diversionary tactic for more weapons to enter the island. A man on the scene was heard lamenting that the warehouse was a haven for death and should be shut down. No word has come from current MP Desmond Mackenzie on the find as the JCF continue their investigations.
Okay. Let us take the argument straight where that is concerned. Right? And so then, right now and then, since that is the last melting pot, come in. Tell me what you have to say about this.
Yeah. My knowledge would lead me to believe that this port of entry that they don't want to call the name is Newport East.
Exactly.
Right? And the warehouse, I want the people them to know, is the old JOS depot. That was the said depot in Gilbert era that all the relief goods was stored. I used to work there. It's right beside the train line.
All right.
And I know the full operation of how them guys from over that community run that place even when I was doing security work there. Because they would just come in and you have to give them what they want. Which we did. Because we had no other choice. You know? So we know everything we are going in that regard. But I must also point out, as we rightfully know, it's not the local law enforcement who uncover these, importation of gun into the country.
Yes.
And so, if it was any member of the People's National Party who these weapons were shipped to, they would have done a sting operation and hold them and make a big euphoria because they want to discredit. But they know that it comes to them source. So that's why you don't get any arrest being made or anyone name being called. Because it would have been easy, because whoever the shipment come to would have to come and make claim for it. So you just wait and hold them and expose them. So right away we can use that narrative to discredit on the spot media. You need to get them facts straight and stop come out and spread rumor upon the People's National Party. Because whoever is paying him to come out and put out that narrative, they need to be ashamed of themselves. You can't tell lie from, all the way back in the 80s. When I blame things upon the People's National Party as it relates to Evelyn Tide fire, where we know UNO alone have access to the high petroleum that was used to burn down Evelyn Tide. No coming to wamping gun seizure from People's National Party representative. No way. No PMP would have anything to do with industrial terrorists.
Exactly.
And their goods coming to that warehouse. That particular warehouse, it belongs to that community. Yeah? And as Sir Byron just played the clip, it show you who own it. It's a well-known farmer, Jamaica Labour Party member of Parliament, Andrew Gallimore. Okay? So we just want to clear up that because PMP mix up in a them type of activity. PMP is a clean party with clean-hearted people who put themselves forward to serve Jamaica and Jamaicans, not to enrich themselves.
Melting pot, hold on there. Also speak the question that we need to ask, that this man, warehouse, you understand, being prominent for guns, you understand, to be running through imports. Why the Jamaica Labour Party don't lock him down? That is what we need to speak about. Why they don't lock him down? Go ahead.
I can tell you something, Sir B. They will never close down anything that belongs to that community. They have to stay up and running.
Corruption.
Anything we're down there, so have to stay up and running. No government can go in and dismantle not we down at that community. Because that's how that community get them bread and butter.
My God.
And if you try to stop that, you have a problem with them. Because when you raise monster, them rise up and you can't even control them anymore.
Whoa.
They facilitate that monstrous behavior that community exhibited on Jamaica. And they can't control it no more. That community manangle the government of the day. To the extent where them bow to them. Them have to bow to them. So there's nothing them can do about it more than turn a black eye and then spread rumor and tell lie. Say a PMP shipment. So we are just make the people them know. The People's National Party is on a mission to revive Jamaica and will never find themselves mixed up in these type of corruption as it relates to gun trafficking seizure. PMP no have no time for that. There are too many bright-minded members of parliament being selected by Sir Jefferson Mark Golding. These people have image, morale, and integrity to protect. So the People's National Party is a party that I have the utmost belief that is fully transparent. And I yield back the floor to another member.
Thank you for that wonderful input, Melting Pot. Pinks, based on what just transpired, just speak on the issue, Sister Pinks.
Okay, back now. Okay, basically I endorse everything what Melting Pot said, and as I said before, they should stop trying to frame us. Oh, okay.
You're muted. All right, let me unmute it for you. Let me unmute it for you. Don't.
Okay, we are trying to unmute it, Spinks.
Because she muted from her end. Oh. You mute it on
you
your
mute it
end.
from your end. Unmute it.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Yeah, go ahead now, Spinks. Mute again.
She muted.
You muted, Spinks. You mute. Spinks, you mute.
Maybe the people in the local society are play.
You're good. Don't touch anything, Spinks. Go ahead, speak.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I agree with everything that Melting Pot said.
Yes.
And we have to endorse the truth and enforce the truth that no PNP, as I said before, would have anything to do with that wharf down there. You understand me? That even a PNP cat will pass through there, or a dog will pass through there. Because they called us a dog a couple of weeks ago, you know. So, let me tell the nation this, and the voters this, and all of Jamaica this. That is Dudu's old wharf.
Yes.
You understand me?
Exactly.
And Bruce Golding could not control Tivoli Gardens people. That's why 700 and odd people of our Jamaicans died when they rose up against Bruce Golding at the time, because he wanted to try and discipline a child that cannot be disciplined anymore.
Whoa.
That is Tivoli Gardens. You understand me? So I don't know why is it Desmond McKenzie came out here and pronounced those words, except the fact that probably he expected the treatment to come and didn't expect it to be exposed like this. Because remember, you know, it's not the first time he said it. He said it again in St. Anne's Bay when they were St. Anne's when they were actually doing the canvassing and the campaigning for Matthew Samuda. He went on that stage again and threatened us again about not giving up Jamaica to us. Right? So it's not the first time, not one time, it's more than one time he has done it. And Vaz over in Portland talking about Vazland and Vazism. So they think Jamaica belongs to them.
Exactly.
And they think we are the serfs. And they treat us like serfs and slaves to them. So when they come with this narrative about Master Mark and all that foolishness, they are the ones who endorse the colonial behavior, the PSOJ behavior of mistreating us. The labor rights always support the PSOJ and not the people. The first word in our party is people. The first word in our party is people. The first word at the Jamaica Labour Party is Jamaica, but they do not think Jamaica belongs to us. That is why they're taking the land for themselves and building up their apartments to sell to them overseas friends for $40 odd million and more that local Jamaicans can't afford, and they pay minimum wage and have people in Jamaica who can only afford one meal per day if they can afford it.
Mighty God.
And that is why they starve us mentally by making the education system so bad. They ill treat us again when we get sick by eating bad food and eating food that does not provide the right nutrients to our body for years. And we get these lifestyle sicknesses. And we have to go to the hospital to get dialysis and so forth. There's no machines there. There's no bed there. You have to wait to get treatment because you don't have the money to pay for the medical treatment at the hospital. You have to go outside, get an x-ray, get a blood test. You can't go to Cornwall Regional Hospital and get a blood test. The blood test has to be done by GWS, a private hospital. You have to pay for it. That is the reality we live in. There is no health care, there is no education system, there is nothing here. What are the JLP people voting for?
Exactly.
What are the JLP supporters voting for? When Andrew Holness have 28 bank accounts, over $400 million going to his account, did you get any?
Exactly.
Except one $5,000 or $2,000 they give you because that's what they tell you that you value as a serf, as their slave. That's what you are valued to them. $2,000 for your vote, because how many of them came up publicly and on a podium and said they paid for the people to vote for them? Michelle Charles did it.
Yeah.
The one in St. Elizabeth did it.
Jesse Hutchinson.
Several of them came out and said they paid for their votes. So to my Jamaicans, I'm asking you, how much is the next 5 years worth? Because if they give you $2,000, divide the $2,000 by 5 times 365 days for the year, and tell me how much you sell a vote for.
Exactly.
Last election, last year when they were having their conference, we saw so many lives of them fighting over the money, wanting to be paid before they go on the bus to go to their own conference. For their own conference, to hear the leaders. And when they're at the conference, they're gambling outside. The year before last, at their conference, a man's throat was slashed for $1,000 Jamaican dollars. $1,000 Jamaican dollars. Right? And most of the time, I can tell you this as a person who lives in Montego Bay. This year, last year, November, and the year before, I went to their meeting spots for their buses. The year before last, when I went to the meeting spot where their buses were to pick up people, the bus left Montego Bay with 4 or 5 people in buses. Coaster buses,
Yes.
This year is the same thing. Last year was the same thing. So 2 years running, they left Montego Bay with 4 or 5 people in these coaster buses, and they left out of Montego Bay. Coaster buses. While when we are having our conferences, we are having the big buses full to capacity, along with coaster buses, along with small buses, along with people traveling their private vehicles. They could not pull a big bus out of Montego Bay. And they know this. So make them stop lying to Uno Amakonofi. So listen to me. Years ago, when they were having a meeting anywhere in St. James, we could know because there was some activity going on during the day. There were some people driving around on the street, broadcasting that they're having a meeting. They had a meeting here, same meeting that Andrew spoke at, and talk about and instruct his supporters to go out and protest. That day that meeting was happening, I didn't know it was happening. There was no town crier for that meeting. There was no vehicles driving past with people hanging out shouting shower, shower, shower. Like they normally meet in the past. There was nothing. And for many years, that's what has been happening. Every time they have a meeting in St. James, even the one that Vegas went to, the workers meeting.
Not Vegas.
Okay. The last meeting, workers meeting they had, there was no hullabaloo about it. Now when you have like 2 days town crier and posters up and people being nothing. In the town, they have a meeting early after, and most of the time they can't even show the crowd.
Exactly.
At these meetings. Remember, Desmond McKenzie, them went either Colonel or Manchester and they had a meeting and it was empty. Remember Morgan at Inantown by election that we won? Morgan rent location, rent sound system to have a party to celebrate and call the party our sweep too.
Yes.
We had our celebration on the street out of a truck back. The truck was used as the stage. We never went in the stage. While Morgan's party was attended by crickets and frogs.
Yes.
I yield the floor to somebody else. Please.
Yeah, that's please. To make them know, say, the electorate left them. That is what Prince is saying. You understand that when PNP is doing their thing, you understand, full bus load. You understand? And what Pink's been observed going for the past 2 years, you understand, a big poster bus and only 4 persons involved in the bus. Can you imagine? Jamaica people left them, and as what Lackland said, put up what Lackland said. Lackland said the protest on Monday, right? There it is. The protest on Monday was a big turning point for Jamaica. It means that the Jamaica, and let me say it, you have a lot of intelligent people in the Labour Right Party too, and critical thinkers too. And they understand that what Andrew Owners was telling them to do, you understand, was totally not appropriate. You understand? And they understand, be Jamaica, they decided that look, we are not, you understand, going to follow his instruction. Andrew Owners, you're not shame. You're not shame. The people them understand, say when you rob the people, them, they don't get no benefit. You understand? The $470 million we are run through various companies, and you through several bank accounts in NCB. We have the evidence. You understand? We have the evidence. So let me put on, of course, our other critical thinkers. Ratty, relax a little bit, Ratty, because I want you to close the program because I want you to come back stuff. But we just put in Pastor Ricky. You understand? We just dribble through the middle and score the goal. Good night, Pastor Ricky.
Well, we have been saying for a long time in this space that the Jamaica Labour Party government is a multi-transnational money laundering, drug trafficking, gun trafficking, human trafficking, white-collar criminal enterprise network in Jamaica. The Corruption Perception Index revealed that the threshold for the most corrupt countries in the world is 50, and Jamaica was at 44. And under this government, from 44 points, they fell 4 points to 40 points, almost at the bottom of the most corrupted country in the world. We have seen the Jamaica Labour Party pay their bloggers to positive media to spread misinformation, disinformation, and they have not moved them or bumped them up in the polls one bit. So all their bloggers are useless and unproductive. That's why they send out Idiot and Ming to try to generate enthusiasm and inspire a base that's deflected, dejected, and demoralized. Now, when you have a center in West Kingston, which Deadman Mackenzie is the MP for, and he needs to confirm yes or no if you're on the investigation by the Integrity Commission. When you have despicable, deplorable MPs like that who support criminality for years we've seen how he treat the people down at Coronation Market. Tivoli Garden run down. Tivoli Garden right now, the people them have sewage water, just like downtown Kingston before Mayor Swaby took over. The stench, the people them now have no running water in them pipe. Them live in a brick building where no AC. The people them are live below their privileges and standard, while this criminal MP is rotten rich. And you know, it goes back to the mindset of the people of Jamaica. But back to the point, when you have a center that 4 different occasions that's on record, and I'm sure there's many other occasions that is not on record, but according to the news clip, the last clip you played, 4 different times gun and ammunition was found at this former JLP MP who's the owner warehouse. There is no way under the sun you can't tell me that the member of parliament, Deadman Mackenzie, the Minister of National Security, Criminal Chang, who should be in prison, shouldn't even be in a position to be National Security Minister, and the Commissioner of Police, who's compromised, corrupt, and politically aligned. Yet they allow not only 1 fine, not only 2 fines, not only 3 fines, 4 fines that's on record. And nobody has gotten arrested. They have not said if they have interrogated, interviewed the former JLP member of parliament who's the owner. Listen, in America, that would have never happened.
Never.
Never happened. I don't know about England and Canada, but I can imagine the same thing. I can imagine.
In England.
Amen. It would never happen. But yet, this MP is allowed to continue operation at this hub for drug trafficking, gun trafficking, ammunition trafficking. Who knows what else other violent crimes have taken place there? This place needs to be shut down. It should be quarantined off. Nobody should allow to go in and out. They should have sent in forensic investigators to do fingerprinting. They should have, listen, this shipment, all of the illicit drug trafficking into Jamaica coming from South America have been tracked and traced by the U.S. intelligence. The U.S. intelligence have spy satellite, drone, and other listening devices, and they know everything that goes into Jamaica and come out of Jamaica. So they're celebrating a bust, but they didn't tell you they had assistance from the United States, DEA, and CIA. The MP should be charged, because in America, if you rent your house to someone and they're using it to do illicit activities, which is unlawful, when the feds run up on them, all you are get dragged in at the drug net. So the owner might say, "Him no know what gone, he wasn't there." But the fact that it's been in the media and it's a repeat offense, exactly. He should have been aware of the activities that's being conducted, and so is the MP. But they're all complicit, they're all compromised, they're all criminals, And this is why Jamaica is on the trajectory that it's on, that it's dropped 40 points on the corruption perception index. Jamaica is known to the feds, the CIA, the U.S. intelligence service as a major drug hub for illicit drugs and gun trafficking from Haiti and gun trafficking from the U.S. into Jamaica. One last point. I'm glad I unsubscribed from On the Spot Media back in late 2023, and I would never subscribe to his channel again. Listen, when you come into the United States, whether by air or by sea, you are going to have to go to your luggage, whatever you're bringing into America has to go to a scanner. The same thing you were talking about at the start earlier the show. Everything is examined because one thing with America, they vow to, since 9/11, every president that take the oath of office has sworn to protect the American people. That's in their, it's in the Constitution of America. The number one priority of every president is to protect the citizens, residents, and the people of the United States of America. So just like you leave in America, every piece of luggage, every item, every equipment you shipping out have to go to the scanner. When you're coming in, the same thing. So the United States was aware of the shipment going into Jamaica, and they allow it to happen because they want to be able to, for the Jamaican government to make some arrests. When coke come in at Jamaica, we hear said them find it up at St. Andrew and a senior citizens, and them are gonna get arrested, but we never hear how they dispose of it. When coke come through Bascobel, one of the trafficking hub in Jamaica, we hear say them are gonna make arrests soon, and we never hear about the arrests, and we never hear how them dispose of it. When drugs and ammunition and gun come into Jamaica, we hear say them are gonna make arrests and them sweep it under the carpet. Nobody gets arrested, and then you never hear how they dispose of it. So the system in Jamaica is so corrupt that I have a feeling that all these drugs and guns that come in is being recycled back to the original recipient. And I rest my case.
You know, that's a wonderful point that that's a really concerning point that you have made there, Pastor Ricky, as it relates to, you know, Jamaican people not understanding the process of, you know, the final process of those weapons that they are processing through the ports. You know, what happens? How do they dispose of those weapons or those drugs? Right? We have no information on that. And you said, as it relates, the possibility exists that, you know, these drugs and, you know, weapons being recycled back to the persons who had shipped those things. Brother Ratty, you have heard what On the Spot news media stated that there is no scanning being done from the United States as it relates to containers and certain things coming into our country. You understand? I, in terms of my recollection, know that that is not true. That is just obviously not true. Right. So your take on the issue, Brother Ratty.
Yeah, my experience is that not everything leaving the American shores is scanned because there are too many ports.
Yes.
And too much cargo leaving.
Yes.
However, they pay close attention to things coming in. Now, having said that, not everything is scanned. Here's what will get scanned. If you bring it to their attention, or if they have an interest in it, like they'll come up with a project, like call it Project Jamaica. And then everything going to Jamaica, they'll scan it. But they can't scan every single thing leaving the country. But what they'll do is they'll make a project out of it. Yes. Or if somebody do drop a dime, or if somebody do the what do you call it? The name escapes me now. The letter. Poison pen letter. Somebody write a poison pen letter and say, hey, mystic or ship stuff, but they're going to pay attention to that. Now, there's a bigger issue for me, and the issue is border control. under this Plan Secure Jamaica, this so-called national security / crime plan that they came up with they concocted in 2016, and it has not worked. In fact, it's failed miserably, and they're still pumping money into it. That plan has failed. They bought so-called high-tech ships, put them on the eastern side of Jamaica. What happened? Haitians using rafts and inner tubes go right past them. Who tell them to the Haitians and the people them of St. Thomas on board and have to say, hey, was some strange people? Meanwhile, we have the high-tech ship over here, millions and millions and millions out there. We have civil aviation. We have military people man the airspace as well. We have people in Southcom out in Florida. I'll help with the satellite surveillance of Jamaica. And yet still we have plane after plane after plane just flying like there's no security whatsoever. There's one in Clarendon that it crash landed, and by the time the police got there, passengers gone, cargo gone, everything gone except the plane. And then a few weeks later, the police, the national Minister of National Security said that the people on board left the island. I mean, left the island. What kind of nonsense is this? And then we have plane crashing at St. Elizabeth, the plane dead and everybody, people gone, cargo gone. So this idea with them keep on, I said them are pump it in and them are pump it in a border control is foolishness. Then when they talk about who is responsible for protecting Jamaica's maritime border, it's JCF, it's JDF. JCF, JDF Customs. And the three of them can't make one because the borders still porous, things still coming in. No, we should not forget that it was the same Prime Minister and our current ambassador to the United States. They traveled from Jamaica to Washington, D.C., ostensibly to meet with FBI and federal law enforcement. You know, one big old room. But them send the mid-level people, them come and know them meetings there, right? And him say, when him come with the names of dons, and them going to arrest these people, and them going to do this, and them going to do that, and no such thing. No such thing. And you know, one of the reasons why you not have, because America is a country of laws. You make America has its flaws, but at the end of the day, there's no comparison. It would be unfair to compare Jamaica in terms of law enforcement to U.S. to Jamaica, but them come and nobody come with a plan to say, okay, let's address the shippers. Let's do a project with the shippers. Let's make sure that when they're shipping stuff, where they have the facility, that we're going to have our scanners there. I would do random checks. None of that happened. So you can do whatever you want to send it to Jamaica. Now, another thing that is critical is that the American government does not trust the Jamaican government. Does not trust the Jamaican government. That is a fact. Take it from me. That is a fact. They don't trust them. In fact, there have been reports out where them say there's so much corruption going on at the highest levels that them can't trust them. And that's why certain types of equipment, pieces of information, they will not share with Jamaica.
Right.
They will not share because them say so much corruption is here. I mean, when you think about it, just think about this for a second. You sit at the U.S. Embassy, whether you're the ambassador, you're the deputy ambassador, you're the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, the ATF, the regional security officer, and you sit down at the meeting every Monday morning and you hear this crap we are going on in Jamaica. How can you trust these people? You can't. You simply cannot trust them. So the idea that them come over here and them say, okay, we're going to meet with these people and we're going to get the assistance and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. The American, I'm telling you right now, they must sit down and say, see, we track this thing, gave it to them, shipment reach, how many people am arrested?
None.
Nobody. They don't arrest nobody. So I mean, what? I mean, so at some point you just kind of like just say, yeah, the hell with them, you know, because it's like a waste of time. They don't arrest anybody. I wonder if them ever hear about a sting operation yet. I don't think they have, or maybe they heard about it on TV, but they don't know how to do one properly. Because look at how many drug shipments and weapon shipments landed on the shores of Jamaica. And then you hear, oh, we seize this and we seize that. And then the question is, how many people did you arrest? Oh, it's an ongoing investigation. And we can't tell you about it. But we're going to arrest people soon. Just watch. We're going to arrest people soon. And 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, nobody gets arrested. Again, that gets swept under the rug. And people forget. How many people, if you don't mention it, how many people can honestly say them remember the Baskerville find? It's not even a seizure, it's a find, the drug find. How many people can actually say that? Not very many people. And then you can talk about all the other fines all over the country. Not very many people. And so I say to you people, again, I can't tell you who to vote for, and I will not tell you who to vote for, but I'll tell you this. In 2016, there's a government that came into power and it said, we want you to vote for us to replace the government that's in power. This is early 2016. Why? Because they don't know how to run the economy. They don't know nothing about education. They don't know nothing about housing. They don't know anything about health. They don't know anything about national security. They don't know anything about water. They don't know anything about, they don't know nothing. So vote us in and we will fix all of your problems. And in their manifesto, they said, we will fix all of your problems in 5 years. It's right there. It's right there on the second page, I believe it is, where the Prime Minister said, all of these things we're promising you, 5 years we're going to them. One of the first promises he said, listen, we're not gonna have any more ministries because we want to be efficient and effective. And in the same document, they create job creation and economic development. Same document, them say we're not going to create anymore. If they make a create a one, yeah. And then in 2022, them create another one. Inefficiency. So all I'm saying to you people is that, look, so when people come to you and tell you about the PNP did have it for 18 years, like I said, I can't tell you who to vote for, but tell them, say, listen, that is a non-starter because in 2016, a party came and said the PNP, full of corruption and this and that, and we must vote for we because we're cleaned up, and people did. Everybody did. And now, all you have to do is say, okay, you took it over. So you can't tell me about what happened 18 years before you took it over because you took it over saying you're going to fix it. Don't make them fool you and tell you about PNP had it 18 years, 19 years. That argument worked in 2016. It can't work in 2020.
Right. I'm have a record now.
Yeah, and so what happened is, all I'm asking you to do, people, go back and look at your life, look at the mirror, look at your family, look at your community, look at Jamaica from 2016 till now. And if you can tell me, say, you better off, if you honestly can't tell me you better off, then I'm going to tell you that you're dishonest. Most of you, not all of you, because there's one question I have to ask you now. Most of Jamaica are poor people. And remember what this government said, it says, one of our priority mandates is to make sure that we move people from poor class to middle class. And so I'm going to ask you tonight, how many of you poor people in 2016 moved from poor class to middle class? Till now.
Exactly.
How many of you? I'm telling you right now, we can't count how many of you, because if you're not truly honest, and that's why we say, I'm gonna listen to the conversation and absorb it. Not just this one, but the conversations, this week, last week. I'm gonna go back and say, if people sit down and them really honest to themselves and say, you know what happened? Have we benefited? Have we benefited after 9 years going on 10 years? Have we benefited? And if the answer is no, then you know what you need to do. It's that simple, you know what you need to do, because truth be told, as a country, as a whole, we have not benefited. Some individuals have benefited. Some individuals.
28 accounts and support. The 28 accounts and support benefited.
Yeah, but as a whole, we have not benefited. And so I am trying to say to my people, don't be legacy voters. Don't say my mother vote for this and my father and this and that. No, look at your individual situations and say, have I benefited? And I'm going to tell you that for most of you, the overwhelming majority of you, you have not. You have been lied to. They have stolen your money. They've even stolen your birthright. You can't even go to the beach no more. Then take your birthright. So, yeah. So I'm saying to you that you cannot do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. The same result. So all I have to say to the programs, make up your mind, because for me, it's a very simple proposition. Is that if after 9 years, you still give me promises where you give me in 2016, me no need you.
Exactly.
Me no need you. Me no need you. If you tell me the same thing where you tell me in 2016, you tell me in 2020, and you come tell me in 2025. No, because people, this election is supposed to be a referendum on performance, not more promises. You're supposed to say, what have you done for me since 2016? You come back and you give me the same promises in 2020. And now you want to come back and give me the same. Jamaica people no need to wake up, man. Wake up. Wake up. This are not the people and Nani and Kojo and Taki and Paul Boak. No. And I'm telling you, I was very happy to see the turnout at the protest.
Yes.
That protest was needed.
Yes.
Long time coming, Sir Rattigan.
Eh?
It's been a long time coming. We always wonder why them not protest.
Yeah, and I was so happy to see the turnout, and I'll tell you why. Because I look at, you remember when them raised the salaries, and Andre and Rosalie and Advocates Network and a whole bunch of civil society, them say we have a protest. How many people turned up for that? Not very many.
Exactly.
Not very many. So that's why yesterday, when them have this one, I know me say yes. And what this tells me now when I see this is that Jamaica ready.
Yeah.
Jamaica ready.
I'm getting ready. Jamaica ready. Yeah. So, Mystic, boy, thank you for the time, because I got on and on because there's so much to talk about. I mean, the revelation when we get through the ATIs and all of that stuff, it's like, it's just, the things is just amazing. Them take our money, them spend it over here, so we don't know where them spend it on. Them spend it with them friend, and when you ask, them give face the answer, you know, and me not take them kind of chat there. So
Yes.
we have to straighten up a woman over the Prime Minister's office last week, and I get ready to straighten up some more people this week, because listen, the truth must not only be the truth, it must be told.
Definitely.
The truth and me alone know it and me not share it, then you no benefit from it. So you won't even know the truth. So the truth must be told, and the truth will be told, that from 2016 till now, people, you've gotten a raw deal and you need to make a course correction. It's that simple.
Well, wonderfully stated, Brother Ratty.
Sir Ratty, I want just to ask you one little follow-up question, quick and short. Like when America track all these illicit trafficking into Jamaica, does they do a follow-up to see, you know, the procedure as it relates to control damage of these illicit trafficking?
What them do something called a hot wash, where them say, okay, them follow the operations to a certain level, and then them say, okay, them can say, this is what we did. Now when them come to the Jamaicans and say, okay, what did you guys do? Because a lot of these things, because Jamaica is a sovereign country, like almost all countries, they have the right to say that the U.S. personnel, yeah, you can come with us on our raid, or no, we will finish it up and we will tell you. And if you recall with SSL, remember when them talk to the gentleman from remind me mistake, Whitney, man, that where Fitzbilly used to be in charge of, counterterrorism.
Counterterrorism. Yeah, counterterrorism.
What name again? No, man, no. There's another one.
Crime, is it the crime
the crime investigation?
No, the one it's named counterterrorism, and I can't remember the acronym. They used to be in charge of it, man.
CTAP.
CTAP.
Yeah. If you remember, when them claims the FBI down there and all that stuff, and them interview the gentleman who in charge at CTAC. Remember what him say?
Yes.
Him say, this is a local investigation and we do this all the time. If and when we need the FBI, we will call them. We don't need them now.
Yes.
Yeah, and they make big speech, right? And so that is how sovereignty comes in, where you control what happens within your borders. So going back to your question, what them do is them say, okay, you know what? We will follow it to the point where the Jamaicans them take it to a once it reaches them sure, and then we'll wait to get a report from them. And I'm sorely disappointed every time them get a report, because the first question them going to ask, how many people identify anybody, who did you arrest? And the answer will be, no, we're still working and we haven't arrested anybody. And the reason for that is because Jamaica, at its core right now, is a corrupt country. Pastor Ricky said it. Said upon the corruption index, Jamaica dropped four places down, and it's 40, and anything below 50 is considered very corrupt.
Very corrupt. Very
corrupt. At struggle for 50, and we come down now to 40. You can't even translate that into the travel advisory. The travel advisory was purely geopolitics, geopolitics. Because when Minister Johnson run up our mouth, all you have to do is people not telling them, just read a little bit. All you have to do is just take out, say okay. Them say the travel advisory is down to 2. Let me see where it say. And if you read it, you see that where it say is the same language as when it was a 3. In fact, it's even worse, because now them issue a level 4 on 12 parishes. When them say there's one Clarendon, I mean no sister watch now. Mr. Maria watch, man. There's one right now. Them say, cause she's from Clarendon. Them say, don't even stop in a Clarendon. Them say, just stop on the highway. Make no stops in Clarendon. And then how you can turn around and say, well then, boy, your country safe. She jump up and say, Jamaica is one of, if not the safest destination in Latin America and the Caribbean. And yet we have more than 16 countries at level 1. She said, we're at a level 2. We're in company with Great Britain, Germany, Spain, Panama, and Dominican Republic. I went and I checked the stats, because we're talking about crime stats now. The murder rate in Dominican Republic, 2024, all 2024 stats, murder rate in Dominican Republic was 9 per 100,000. In Panama, it was 10 per 100,000. In the UK, it was less than 1 per 100,000. In Germany, less than 1 per 100,000. In Spain, less than 1 per 100,000. In Jamaica, 40 per 100,000.
My God.
And you're going to tell me, come on.
And I saw them deceive the
reverse the curse.
But you know, the prime minister is a failure. He's the head of the defense ministry. And with all of these drugs pouring into Jamaica, and guns and ammunition, and missing people, human trafficking, he has not secured the borders of Jamaica. He's a failure. And like you said, the boat, the technology, what them get, the airplane, the boat, them for patrol. But yet, we see so much coming in, and he's the head of defense. He's a failure. And I'm calling on the people of West Central St. Andrew to vote him out. Don't make him be an MP. He's not deserving to serve in the parliament. He cannot protect the people. Under his regime, from 2016 to 2024 December, 481 people were murdered. The highest of any 2-term prime minister. And yet them talk about crime down. Give me a break. The travel advisory, like you said, Sir Ratti explained, the language in it. 11 parish or 12 parish at level 4. Think about that. That's a very serious problem. And I'm not for celebrate about.
Yeah, and I want to say something. I want to say something to where you just said, Pastor Ricky. And I mean, I know the rest of the panel will share the same sentiment. Because in the year when we get level 4 travel advisor on crime, just put health one side. Because crime was a topic of discussion. Yeah, that brought on the level 4 travel advisory. That's the same year when them reduced the crime number to the lowest. And I've been saying it, more than 2,000 people died in Jamaica last year. They half the number to 1,100. You understand? It's over 2,002, they half the number. But we are seeing similar activity being utilized to fraction, to fracture the numbers as it relates to the statistic census in terms of poverty dropping from 16.7% to 8.2%. These people are pathological liars and deceivers, and they must be held accountable for these heinous lies that they are committing and telling to the Jamaican society. Yeah. Last year was one of the bloodiest years in Jamaica. I want the people them to know far and wide. That is why they got the level 4 for crime. We had mass murder. We have quadruple murder. We have triple murder. We have double murder. And we have regular murder. And it was at a high proportion last year. Plus we have the Cherry Lane mass shooting where several people get shot and died.
8.
In one circumstance.
Rockford,
and
5.
This, right. And this criminal government with criminal people like Google too. And these nasty people that control the statistic in Jamaica are playing games with the security of the country, telling lies. But America is not one to be deceived, because America don't have to rely on you to tell them anything they know. And this is why we keep reminding them that the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica is not only there to issue visa, but to take a principal look at what is happening on the ground in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. This is why they can tell you where and where not to go, where you shouldn't even stop to take a wee. Wet up yourself till you reach somewhere else. That's how bad it is in Jamaica. So when we have the nasty criminal labor regime with criminal like Crab, criminal like Deadman Mackenzie, criminal like Vaz, and chief criminal like Andrew Wallace, we in a bad state of affair. And I want the Jamaican people to realize that if we don't make the choice that we're supposed to make this time around, heaven help us all. And I yield back the floor to another member.
All right, thank you, Pastor Ricky. But we want to leave.
Tell them about the 8 categories real quick.
Yeah, well, I'm Pastor Ricky, because we need to we have to run out here tomorrow morning early to work, so we want to close out now. The situation is what we want people to bear in mind, right? And Ratty, I think you and I have to still pursue this as it relates to those cannons, right? And the $2 billion that they spoke about as it relates to the budget of that. What we want to know, was that $2 billion being utilized, and if it is utilized, right, we want to see the process of that. We want to see the invoice, right, and then we get into the internal billing. What happened to the $2 billion? And if based on what Pink said, that she has been there, right, during certain period, she has seen no new equipment. So at least we need to get some information on that. We are not, what happened to the $2 billion? Was it used or was it put back, right, into our treasury? That's all we need to know. Was the $2 billion used? And if it didn't use, right, was it, put back in the treasury?
Them not believe in putting back money in the church. Not this government.
I have somebody who's uniquely qualified to answer. I've been in touch with them since you and I talked about this issue, and they're looking right now because they can't see where the money went. So by the time we link up next week, I should have some information for you regarding that.
Thank you.
Yeah, because this is just, the person is is bewildered. The person is saying that there should be some documentation of that.
Exactly.
And right now there is no documentation. There's no
Well,
documentation.
Sir Byron, if the Auditor General can't find $3 trillion, if SSL can't find 4.5 billion to give back, I mean, if the fertilizer $54 million and give back to the RADA, why would we think this government criminal are gonna give back $2 billion to NASA? Them thief it.
Them gone with that, man.
Jamaica
Them
people
gone with that.
of what happened to that $2 billion.
Say Obama Wolf in the chat say Towel now back Andrew, and if Towel now back him blood bitter.
Yeah,
Blood
for
bitter.
vote. Me a call upon them for vote him out of West Central St. Andrew. We know why him in a parliament. Him thief too much money. Him not deserve to go back to the honorable House of Garden House.
But let me just
I have a strong opinion. Say the whole of them are get vote out this time.
Yeah. Prison.
Let me just say this, that people, we must understand this, that the Prime Minister, there are some allegations about what he's done, and then there are some facts about what he's done. And we simply cannot just say, all right, then vote him out and that's it. We have to go after him.
Yeah, definitely.
Time.
Definitely, we have to go after him.
Go after him. When he come out, we have to go after him because, look, he must face the bar of justice. Must face it. He can't just walk away. So we can't just say, well, okay,
No.
all right, vote him out and that. We have to say, no, we not stop. We are go after him.
Right.
And the rest.
Yeah, and the rest. And the
yes.
rest. And you notice we don't hear anything more about the 8, We're still out 8, 9, 10, whatever the number.
Yes. But a 49, a 49.
A 49 of them, man. 49 of them.
I have to count the 13 in the Senate, include them too, 49 and 13 are 62.
Before you go, I want to ask you a question. Somebody asked me this question, and a year ago, I never struggled. Right now, we struggle. Me not answer. Give me the name. Give me the name of a outstanding parliamentarian on the government side, minister, of a big good minister who's running the ministry proper and efficient and effective.
Melting pot. We went over this before. We can't find that. But
we can't find it. We search,
That's why
Sir Ratty, we search long and hard and we can't find not even half, much less one. Not even half, much less one. There's not one where you can, use a weight and scale and balance. We can't find half, much less one. All of them, the whole 49.
Hold on, Sir Ratty, I almost vouch for your favorite minister, but when I remember them set up an illegal diaspora council and take money from U.S. citizens, and it wasn't registered with the Department of Justice.
All right.
I for rule out.
But hold on, she's my favorite for a different reason. But here's a couple years ago, especially
I know. I know the reason.
No.
Share your dancer.
Right? But you know, there was one, that when people ask me, say, yeah, man, I used to big him up on the program, Ed Bartlett. Until facts came to me that, wait a minute, Ed is no different from the rest of them.
Yeah.
Ed I tell lie about how much money I come to Jamaica through tourism. He tell lie, say I must say 3 or 4 billion. And then if you admit, say only 1 point. Me hear him on the stage, say 4, whatever the billion is, I come. And then he have to correct himself. Yeah. And then I hear a little thing about him. I mean, some people know him I watch. Some people who know me, I watch. Him have a little place, and we are looking to it because we don't know how him get the money for buy that place there. Because when we look salary and him wife salary and all that, them not supposed to can afford that place there. And him have a really nice place on the water. And we are plus we hear about Bartlett Estates, Bartlett Ridge or something like that.
Yes.
We don't give him own it. It crosses the street from Holiday in me a year, a development. And we are looking to it. And me I said to myself, say, where the money I come from? And then when we look how the bogus counting we him do with the number of tourists we are come and how much must spend and this and that. And I say, no. Him let me down because him are the only one, me say, during code, me see him fly all over the place, you know. Then remember him did Dubai and them place and convince the Emiratis, say, look, Uno are the destination spot for the Middle East and for the rest of the world, but we need Uno to come at Jamaica. And then him say, him a flight I go. And then me realize it's Condor Airlines. And Condor Airlines is a German airline. And so if you come to Jamaica from Abu Dhabi or Dubai, you have to fly go north to go south. And then if you want to go back to Dubai, you have to go north again. Yeah, you go north to go south, and then you have to go north to come south. I mean, I say, but hold on there. They have a airline in a Dubai, you know, in the Emirates airline, and it fly come America. So why them all them have to fly west to go south? You know, fly north to go south. And so him sell that to the Jamaican people. Him even have me, I believe. So the man is a miracle worker. And when we see what I go, remember them call the airline and them say, no flight I go to Jamaica. That a Condor. I know what plane that. That a German people I go to Jamaica. That I know people from the Middle East. So I just make it say, boy, I'm disappointed in you here, sir.
Fine. Yeah, I remember, Ratty, remember I said the young man where we spend 15 million pound assign with couple letters mark the grill, you know, spell the grill, you know.
Well, you have a million man rates, you know. You understand, as it relates to the best liar. Andrew Honest come first, Tufton come second, and back they come third. So you understand how it goes.
Idi Amin come fourth.
All right.
Editor, senator.
My paper, here we end it tonight. Right, we had wonderful discussion. Things, big up yourself. Right, ABR, big up yourself. Right, we want to say big thanks to the panelists. Right, Ratty, Melting Pot, Pastor Ricky. Right, do it right in terms of being very effective and impactful. So we appreciate. We want to say big thanks to the panel and to all the people. Right, to continue, right, to push us.
Press the button and like up the live. We need at least 1,000 lives.
So we want to say big thanks to you all. All right, and we are out. Melting Pot, blessings.
Why you see how the machine work tonight? The machine not gonna problem.
Exactly.
Machine good again. All right, bye.
Live, everybody, before you leave.
Let's go.
Right. Good night, everybody. Blessings. We'll talk.
So, Ratty, we will talk tomorrow. Okay, Ratty, chip out. All right.